очень мало людей для такой музыки. Очень мало. Очень мало народу, мадам. Очень. Беспонтовая музыка. На самом деле, очень плохая музыка.
А зачем вы пришли сюда?
Я думал, намного лучше будет это все. И очень плохая музыка, просто очень плохая музыка. Я думал, намного лучше это все будет. Сколько раз сюда ходил, было намного лучше. Но на этот раз как-то не удалось. Во-первых, народу мало, музыка не очень.
А что за направление?
А?
Что за направление?
Направление? Какое направление?
Что за направление музыки играет там?
Hello, everybody. Here we are. ChampManFPL Season 3, Game Week 1. How are we doing? Get us up. Get yourself in the chat. Let us know you can hear us. We're not talking to ourselves. As soon as I know we're live, we'll get straight on to asking Craig what he's come as.
Big game, right? Big game.
Big game. Talk us through it, Craig. Did you get that suit for Christmas? Have you just got in from work? What's the get up?
Yeah, I requested it for Christmas. My in-laws were like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I'm like, "I'm hosting a ChampMan stream." They didn't understand what that was, but when I said I'm hosting a ChampMan stream, I need a suit for the first live stream. So I've ended up with this suit now. So you hear all the stories, don't you, about the managers that play the game, and when they get to a legit cup final on the game, they treat it like a cup final. They put a suit on, all their lucky gestures, like touch the door handles and all that sort of thing to get good luck. And I thought, oh yeah, why not? I'm gonna wear the suit. Wow. Yeah, big game week. So put a suit on.
Fair play to you, mate. When you said you were going to wear a suit, I wasn't 100% sure whether you were just winding me up. But yeah, you've gone for it, and you've committed with the hat. So if you didn't have the hat on, we wouldn't be quite sure it was you. So I'm glad you left the hat on. But yeah, so how are we doing? Let's have a quick look in the chat then. Looks like we're up and running. Welcome new players, welcome old players. So I can see Richie in the chat, FPL Richie, FPL Racer, first season, Daniel Curtis, loving the suit. Gleed Liker, here we go again, buzzing. Andy Martin in the chat, love it, ready. FPL Reaper, bet he's wearing shorts. You're not going to show us.
I'm not going to. I've got indoor slippers on. I'll own up to that. I've got indoor slippers on. But, I've got a full suit on, suit trousers as well, but not the shorts.
Yeah, we'll believe you. Thousands wouldn't. Suit looking great. Pep talk. Craig looking very professional. Martin less so. Hey, come on! I've sorted out the background. I mean, what more do you want? Yeah, good side bet for tonight. What minute they all come crashing down? So yeah, get the sweepstake on that. But yeah, good to see you all. Great to be back. I suppose we better kick off. Get some official stuff out of the way, haven't we? So Craig, you're going to run us through the lineups quick.
I don't know about quick, but yeah, I'll run through the lineup. So obviously they're all being released now. So we'll start with what game we're going to start with. We'll start with Blackburn against Arsenal. So Blackburn are going 4-3-1-2. Obviously a few questions about what they were going to play, but it's 4-3-1-2. Lambropoulos in goal as expected. Back four of new signing Antonelius at left back, Henningberg right back with both up arrows. Curtis and Weatherall at central defence. Midfield three, Lucas Neal and Nobby Solano both running sort of out towards the flanks, two guy in between. And then 4.5 million Burton O'Brien in the attacking midfield role behind Janssen and Crouch. Probably what was expected after we got the leak for Janssen. Marcus Bent is sat there on the bench though, to make an appearance, so one of those two will go off. Rest of the bench is James Thomas, another striker. So interesting there, two strikers for them. Martin Taylor and the other 4.5 million, Ton Frederick Ludvigsen, who was the other one who may have played AMC. So something to bear in mind for moving forward for that. And obviously they're playing Arsenal. Normal 4-4-2 for Arsenal. Westerveld in goal. We already knew about Volts at right back. Surprise at centre back as well with Liam Chilvers playing. Probably good news for anyone that did go for Marcus Bent, because that's Bent playing, not Marcus Bent, sorry, Matt Janssen, because Matt Janssen left forward now against Chilvers right centre back, a little match up there. you'd fancy Jensen to probably get the better of that. So something to bear in mind. So Chilvert centre-back with Campbell, Ashley Cole left-back. 4 in midfield, Perez and Pennant on the 2 wings with up arrows, Van Bronckhorst and Basidas. And then Henry and Jeffers on the bench, Tikhonov, Richard Wright in goal. And then Barrett can play up front, Lundberg and Lauren over the rest of the back 4. Into Aston Villa v Leicester. So we'll do Villa first. Enkelman in goal. Back 4, which was up in the air. Alan Wright at left back. Gareth Barry, Olaf Melberg in the middle. Danny Mills at right back. 2 up arrows for the 2 full-backs. Midfield 4, as you'd probably have expected from the end of last season. Probably first choice from season 2. Hendry left wing. Thompson and Boateng in the middle and Hadji on the right. And then Balaban and Go up front. Interesting for Villa, 3 defenders on the bench. David Murphy is a left back, Richard Rufus and Alpay. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some defensive changes made at some point in the second half. So maybe anyone that's got a Villa defender that starts might want to be a bit concerned about a pre-60-minute sub with that bench. And Vassell there, so no midfielder on the bench for Villa, which is semi-interesting. Let me just get the second batch of games up now. I'm not organised at all with getting these things juggled. So we start with what we got: Ipswich v Bolton. All mine have come up in the wrong order, which is not most helpful. What's going on here? So we'll do Ipswich v Bolton. So Brannigan surprisingly in goal, maybe one of the biggest surprises of the lineup. Would you say, Mike? I know you commented on everyone expected Pullen to be in goal, but we've got Brannigan in goal. Back Heriderson, Prutton with an up arrow, like a semi sort of, I suppose, running into defensive midfield, and Bramble in the third defender role. Clapham and Tarako with small up arrows at wing back. We kind of knew central midfield of Ipswich would be a bit up in the air, and it's Chippo, Redknapp and Holland that start. And then Stewart and Pablo out wide with arrows running out wide as well. On the bench, Gary Breen, former in defender, someone would have gone for. Pullen, the goalkeeper, Craney, someone we don't know, Guillermo Graven. Don't know a lot about that guy. He's on the bench, don't know where he plays or anything. And then Alan Armstrong as their final sub. And Ipswich are playing Bolton. Let me just get their team up. So they're quite predictable, aren't they? Jääskeläinen in goal. It's Skimmaker that misses out in defence. So DeVos has shifted across to left centre-back with Hendry and Richard Dunn, new signing. Gardner and Pitts with small up arrows at wing-backs. Wally and Carrick, central midfield with Pedersen behind Wallace and Rumberg. That's fairly as predicted, I would say, that team. And then the other game on this slide is Coventry v Watford. So we'll start with Coventry first. Magnus Hedman in goal, despite being number 13. Edworthy at right back, Walker and Williams in the middle, and Gilchrist left back. Keith O'Neill left midfield, John Eustace and Paul Telfer in the middle, and David Thompson on the right, and Joe Chim and Hughes up front. I would say that's fairly what would have been predicted, I think, by most people. And then Watford at Matzidis in goal, 4-4-2 for them with Harrison, Vega, Adrian Williams taking over from Galley at centre-back, and Ferrer. Fourth, no Petkoff for this game, so Stephen Glass is playing left midfield, Vanatza and 4.5 million, Richard Johnson in the middle, Joe Tessam on the right, and then Smith and Helgeson up front. Again, fairly likely. The subs for them, by the way, was Noel Williams, who everyone knows comes off the bench sometimes and scores. Gary Walsh, Paul Robinson, Marcus Curtis, don't know him, and Dennis Byrne. I think he made waves by being in captain dead team. I think he's a regen striker. So interesting what happens with him. So 2 strikers for Watford on the bench. Next round of games is Liverpool v Norwich we'll start with. So Liverpool, Dudek in goal. We obviously knew about the centre-backs already, Risa and Carragher. They're flanked by Vignal and Hegem. Bishgan did get a slot in central midfield with Patrick Berger, so no Stephen Gerrard here, not on the bench either. Barnby on the left, Murphy on the right with small up arrows, and then Fowler and Heskey. Michael Owen is fit for the bench for Liverpool, and Yari Littman's there as well. So 3 strikers, in fact, from Liverpool on the bench. Daniel Joland as well. And then Smeetser as the 4th. So Sammy Hippier, obviously very confident here. Liverpool haven't even bothered to name a defender on the bench. I suppose Biscan will go back there if things get too desperate. And then Norwich, Mercer in goal. Really random formation here. 5 at the back. Ryan at left back with a massive up arrow. Dyche at right back with no up arrow. And then Emblin, Jackson and McKay left to right. 3 in midfield, all running backwards. Quinn on the right, Nolan and Walker in the middle. And then Neil McCann playing attacking midfield with an up arrow behind Zima Abbey. On the bench is Daryl Such, Mike Taylor, Alan Rogers, Andres Rubins, and Darren Moran. Can't tell you a lot about any of those players, really. Next game we'll move on to quickly is Leeds Sunderland. No Ian Hart for Leeds. I know a few people were tempted to captain him, but he's on the bench. So it's Robinson, back three of Woodgate, Ferdinand and Dewberry. Gary Kelly also left out, probably first choice right wing back. So it's the two second-rate wingers, we'll say, Singh and Mabry. McFowell and Kewell in central midfield with Keane playing behind Larson and Viduka. Hart, as I say, is on the bench with Decor and Batty and Simon Johnson. So no defender on the bench for Leeds either, which is quite interesting. And they're at home to Sunderland with Sullivan in goal, 4-4-2. Michael Gray, Jakob Larsson, Pierre Issa and Michael Dobson at right back. So no Emerson Tome, I think, was banned. Bad news, even more bad news for Hart owners is that we've got Michael Dobson at right back, who's obviously going to be up against the left wing back. So that's unfortunate. Double rubbing if you had Hart playing. Midfield four of Arca, Ardley, McCann and Teal. And then Libra ahead of Sibon up front. So it's Libra and Phillips. Varga, Ashdown, Sibon, Medina and McCartney on the bench. The next batch of games, what we're going on to here. Number 4. So we'll start with Middlesbrough. 4-4-2, Crossley in goal. Fester ahead of Gordon at left back. Honcho Southgate as expected in the middle and Atherton right back. Interesting midfield formation with both central midfielders running into the AMC position. That's Miller and Marinelli. Postman Johnson out on the left and Zepeda on the right. Boxic and Ricard through the middle. A bench of Ian Pearce, Brad Jones the keeper, Stuart Parnaby, Steve Finn and Jonathan Greening. And they're at home to Bradford, who are playing 4-4-2 as well. Peggy Arfexad in goal. Holt, Brooms, Gunnarsson, Walsh, the back four. Hoekstra, Makel, Hyde and Leonardson across the midfield. Wingers with up arrows. And Robbie Blake and Ian Jess up front. A bench of Ashley Ward, Andrew Love, Chris Plummer, David Aromo and class back Jorgensen. Last one on this slide is Manchester Derby. So we'll go Man City first. Michael Oakes in goal, 4-4-2. McQuilkin, Hurtado, Howie, Makin, back four. Tiato, new signing, Jermaine Wright, Gary Flitcroft and Anders Svensson in midfield. And Wanchop and Huckabee up front. So Burton doesn't get in. Again, it's two strikers on the bench, Burton and Howarth. Weaver, the sub-goalkeeper, Hopkins and Haaland. And then on to Man United. Also 4-4-2, Barthez. First choice back four of Sylvester, Ekiog, Rocco Jr. and Gary Neville. Midfield four of Nedved and Chadwick out wide with small up arrows, Veron and Keane. No Ryan Giggs, I think maybe injured. And Van Nistelrooy and York up front. A bench of Wes Brown and Ronnie Johnson. And then Bojan Djordjic and David Dunn. Good news for anyone that went Dwight York this week because no striker on the bench probably means he's going to get the full 90. So he is always a little bit of a potential risk, but will probably play the full 90 here unless he gets injured. And then the last couple of games we'll go on to is Tottenham. 4-4-2 again. Sereni in goal. Clark, Richards, Perry and Boyce, the back four. Ziga, Fortune, Simon Davis and Darren Anderton. Rebroff and Salakovic up front, probably as expected there. Gardner, Modulier, the keeper. Everson, Ledley King and Bunchacevic, the back four. The subs, I should say, not the back four. Then Chelsea, good lad in goal because Kudicini's got a 1-game ban. Then Babiaro, Desai, Terry Melchiot, Zenden, Petit, Lampard, Carboni, Good Johnson, Forsell, the most predictable team in the league, stay fully predictable. Then a bench of Rhys Evans, the goalkeeper, Gallas, Dallabonna, Zola and Leon Knight for Chelsea. And then last but not least is Newcastle v Everton. So Shay Given in goal. Back four is Wayne Quinn, new signing Danny Griffin, other new signing Thomas Gardso and Steve Watson. Oliver Bernard, the 4.5 million defender, has won the battle to start left midfield. There was a few options for that, but it's him for this game. Stephen Hughes and Gary Holt in the middle, Kieran Dyer on the right, Shearer and Court up front. And on the bench, we've got my mate Olohoy, is on the bench with Robbie Elliott, Dabby Zass and Amiobi. So two strikers for Newcastle on the bench and Steve Harper in goal. And finally, Everton, slight switch of formation. They've actually gone with a formation with a proper holding midfielder, which is quite rare across the first two seasons of this game. So it's Eleutheropoulos in goal, back three of Unsworth, Stubbs and Weir. Then wing backs with no up arrows, Naismith and McAteer. Pablo Paz, new signing, actually playing holding midfield. Two central midfielders with Titoff with an up arrow into AMC and Gravison. And Campbell and Christie winning the battle to play up front. So Seratos is on the bench with Duncan Ferguson. So again, two strikers on the bench for Everton. GX on the bench, and Peter Clark with goalkeeper Miguel Alexio. So that is all the teams. I'll have a drink now after that because that's quite long.
Well done, mate. Take a break. It's a good job we didn't leave that too much longer. We'd have been pushing kickoff, but loving the detail in that and the sort of talking points around it. So I was keeping an eye on the chat. I was hoping that some Sing owners would be dancing around, but I haven't seen any. But yeah, good news for anybody that went with Sing.
Singing and dancing. That's what they would have been, wouldn't they?
Singing and dancing, absolutely. Yeah. Very good, very good. So yeah, interesting. I mean, there's outside of the league, what do you think? I mean, to me, Brannigan in goal stands out there. Are we going to get a 4 million keeper playing for Ipswich? I mean, there's always a chance that it's only this week and Pullen could be in next week. But I mean, that could be, if he ends up playing every week, he's going to end up in everybody's team, isn't he? But so that stood out for me. What do you think? And anything else sort of surprised you outside of the league there?
I think week one, you can't take anything too literally. I don't think we kind of know from season 2, especially that the first couple of weeks, there is some sort of unexpected rotation. So I think now, I wouldn't be surprised if the players that you think are now this week, they'll still be given a game off next week. For example, I was going to use Gallas coming in as an example for Terry Odessa. I think it will happen in one of the first 4 weeks that he'll play a game.
Yeah.
So that is just, I think, not getting too carried away with, for new managers especially, I would say this: if you've picked a player here that you fully expected to start in game week 1 and hasn't, I wouldn't be in a massive rush for game week 2 to transfer them out because you think they're suddenly not in the team anymore. It doesn't work like that in the early weeks of this game. So I'm trying to think of some examples. Like Gerrard, for example, he will still play the majority of games for Liverpool. He's obviously not played tonight. Hippie are the same. There's some player, if you thought there was, everything suggested there was a definite starter, I still think they probably are. It's just a one-off bad sort of game for it.
Yeah, it takes a few weeks for the game to settle down, doesn't it? Early on in the season, there seems to be, I don't know if we know the exact science behind it, but there seems to be some sort of thing in the background where, because we've had a pre-season, there's been however many hundreds of days since the last game. And so, some people that just haven't played for a while get thrown into the team, and the game isn't clever enough to work out that the reason they haven't played for a while is because there hasn't been any games for 3 months. So I think there's something like that goes on in the background. So it does take a week or two for the lineups to settle down. So exactly as Craig said, don't read too much into it. I mean, say things like Gerrard not playing, Brannigan starting in goal for Ipswich.
Rufus, another one.
Rufus missing out. Things like that. Pennant and Volts starting for Arsenal. It very much doesn't mean to say that that's how it's going to be every week. It just takes a few weeks to settle down. So what else have we got in the chat? I mean, to be honest, I was looking out for questions in the chat. Most people seem most concerned about which one of us is Mode and which one of us is Irons. But I think we'll leave that up to the audience, I think.
We'll see who pulls the best faces when a goal goes in, right?
We'll see which one gets over emotional about our own team and sort of loses the plot a bit. But
the other thing we could do is one of us just go to the toilet midway through the stream and see how the other one copes. That would be a good way of working out.
That's a good one, isn't it? Yeah, Mode was a good one for needing the toilet every 10 minutes. So we'll see which one of us that is. What else we got? Games, Mr. E, game time. So kickoff is at 8:30. So we got 10 minutes to go. Most people preoccupied by what we're up to than the lineup. So I guess people have digested it well enough on Twitter. Should we have a quick look at our own team's captain? Should we bring them up quick? Well, we've got 10 minutes to go. I'll still keep an eye on the chat if anyone's got any questions before we kick off.
Quite similar, actually, aren't they?
They are quite similar. Yes, we've both captained Boxic today. Obviously, we both work on the same podcast, but I think we have independently, or we think we've independently come up with the same teams, haven't we? I mean, obviously we do talk through on some of the preview content, but yeah, we are fairly similar. I think we're both set up not to free hit next week, aren't we?
I think that's the main thing will be the big difference. And I fully expect to be middle of the pack tonight. If I've got a game week rank of about 400-500, I'd fully expect that, if I'm being honest. what did we get up to in the end? About 700 players or something, was it?
Yeah,
quite a lot of
something around that.
new players today, wasn't there? And a lot of people I know have gone quite big on Leeds, understandably. And if I was free hitting, for example, this week, I would have definitely had Viduka. Or well, I probably would have punted Hart captain if I'm being honest, because I think his upside was really good if he played. But I would have had Viduka as the emergency captain. So I am worried that I've got no Leeds. You've obviously got Larson to cover that, but I've got no Leeds. So I fully expect to be behind because Leeds should do well tonight. But my team is a better balance to cover next week as well, which is what I wanted to do. Hopefully, any ground I lose this week, I make back up next week with quite a few home players and a lot of the players those that free hit next week will have as well. So that was my plan, but it's a bit defensive this week, if I'm being honest, because I probably expect to be sort of middling rather than good.
Yeah. So it's interesting strategy. I mean, I was very tempted to go for attack game week 1 and free hit in game week 2 as well, but I mean, I don't think you can really argue too hard against either strategy. But we've both gone for the no free hit in game week 2, but we're kind of risking it having Ricardo Gardner on the bench this week. We could both see tears from both of us on that one potentially.
I was quite happy just to see him have the very small up arrow rather than a gigantic one. That would have made me a bit more nervous if he was getting up to the 18-yard line rather than just the halfway line. So that's made me a bit more optimistic. I didn't see Bolton keeping a clean sheet, which is why I did it. It was him or Lucas Neal to start, and I thought Blackburn would play that 4-2-4 formation where Neal would be quite high up against Volt, and I didn't feel like I could turn that sort of head-to-head matchup down. Obviously, we haven't quite got that, but he's still. I'd say Neal's positioning in the formation is probably better than Gardner's this week, so I'm quite happy with that choice at the moment. But Gardner's one of those players that can turn it on in any game, isn't he? Almost.
Yeah, definitely. So we're both running a bit of a risk there, but if he smashes it next week, we'll be all right. I've seen the question in the chat that we didn't anticipate. So Mr. E is asking, what's the emergency captain? So in this format, your captain scores double, your vice captain scores 1.5 points, and then it's rounded down if it's not an even number. And then the emergency captain will fill in if your captain or emergency captain is missing, basically. So if your vice captain plays but your captain doesn't, then your emergency captain will fill in for your captain. Or if your captain plays and your vice doesn't, then your emergency will fill in for your vice. If you've got 2 of the 3 missing, then you only have your captain because it will prioritize the captain. But if your vice is in and your emergency and captain is missing, then you'll just get your vice captain. So hopefully that's clear as mud. I think the easy way to think of it is the emergency is the only one that can move around. Your captain and your vice are fixed. But if they don't play, then the emergency can move into that position. I think is probably the easiest way to think of it.
It's obviously new to all of us in this game, isn't it? You've played Gaffer far deeper and longer than me, so you've probably got a better sort of understanding of the best way to use that chip. Sounds like an emergency captain, just best off putting on a nailed player, is it? Or as nailed as you can possibly get, just to make sure that he's going to come on for someone.
Yeah, I think so. I think emergency, you want a big hitter away from home if you're not going to captain them anyway, because obviously away from home, the lineups are safer, aren't they? So, for example, I've put it on Veron today because, Man United being away from home, the lineup should be secure. And, I've got 2 strikers as my captain and vice. But I thought Veron is probably the safest big hitter I've got to be my emergency captain. So I think that's how I'll approach it.
Just to be clear, though, if your captain and vice both do play, your emergency captain's irrelevant, right? Does it?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So they're only there to fill in if they're needed. Okay, what else have we got in the chat?
Gary's playing red card bingo in the chat at the moment. He's convinced that there's going to be an early red card to upset everyone. So yeah, sweepstake going on, I think.
Gash leg sweepstake. Gary Smith, I'm more confused. Happy to help Gary.
What are the chances on there being a red card or a big injury before a goal tonight? Do we think that's going to be one of the big things, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a fair chance, isn't there? There's a fair chance. It's ChampMan. There'll be chaos before there's anything that you actually want to see, I imagine.
It's definitely going to be a 50. It'll be one of those players as well. He was 50-50 between Boxage and Ricard, for example. I'll use that as an example because it was a decision a lot of people faced. And if there's going to be an injury or a red card, it's going to impact one of those two, isn't it? And it'll obviously end up majority of the time taking off the player that you had. So it'll be your player that's injured or your player that's substituted as a consequence of the red card or something. That's destined to happen. And then the other striker will probably score as well. So it'll be a 10-point swing or something between a 50-50 striker decision. That's something to look forward to for new managers as well. That's probably going to happen. Someone suggested Mark Crossley's going to get sent off. Darren Malloy in the chat.
Yeah, good stuff. And I suppose for anybody that doesn't know, there's a slight difference in the way it all comes through tonight. So we'll see the goals at the same time as all you lot. So we won't be able to wind you up with there's been a goal at wherever. So yeah, we won't be able to troll you guys too much. You're going to see the match commentary coming through on the screen underneath our faces, and we're going to see the action at the same time as you. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes.
It's going to come through as if you're playing the Championship Manager 0102 game. So, and anyone that's played the game, I'm assuming most people have, will see that you get the coloured strip of the club, and then obviously right in between that, what's happening in the game, like team pressing forward, something like that. And captain has managed to find a way to make that live on the stream. So effectively, it will be the written commentary that you normally see on screen if you're playing the game as an actual manager, not in the fantasy variety. But could be quite cool, wouldn't it? I don't know if there's going to be too many wacky colours that we obviously find. I used to hate being like Barcelona, for example, with their wacky colours.
Yeah, that does influence who I manage on the game. Actually, there are some teams that I just won't manage because their colours are not having that fashion up all the time. But yeah, I think Bradford might be the worst, the brown and yellow, but we'll see. But
we've obviously got a fair amount of red background, white writing as well. So if that flashes up, we've got to take us 5 seconds to work out if it's Liverpool, Sunderland, Arsenal, or someone else in red and white who the commentaries about. I think all the shades of red are pretty much the same as well.
Yeah.
So be like commentate on a horse race, won't it? Trying to work out what's going on here with some of the things.
Definitely, I think another fun game as well will be picking out the commentary that captain's written versus the commentary that's come straight out of the game. Because
he's added some of his own, hasn't he? He said for some moments he's used some editorial license, shall we say?
Yeah, exactly. So captain's written some of the comms himself. So those of you that are familiar with playing the game, some of the lines of commentary are going to be not what you're used to. But I mean, that's all going to add to the fun, I'm sure.
Cool. 2 minutes. 2 minutes until we get a big kickoff come up, and then we'll be.
2 minutes. 2 minutes to go. So, should we have a quick goal scorer a minute?
Goal scorer a minute. It's got to be Ricard, isn't it? Because it was Ricard or Boxic. I went Boxic. So Ricard first goal. I'll go 8th minute.
8th minute. Okay, Ricard 8th minute. I'm going to go. I think Leeds might score first. I'm going to go the season one hero McPhail in the 7th minute. How's that?
Feel free to put some names in the chat of players you think are going to score. Who's going to get sent off? Anything else you think might happen? Any surprises you think could happen?
So we got some
who's gone for Engel there, first goal.
Engel 6th. Ruud van Nistelooy 1st minute. Yeah, that would be.
It'd upset a lot of people, isn't it, if that goes in?
Sing 1st minute. That would be another popular one. Andy Martin backing the postman.
Could happen, right?
Yeah, that could happen. 3 minutes Tariko, I'd be in for that. Absolutely.
It's going to be some randomer, isn't it? It's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be some randomer. Here we go.
Oh, we go. We kick off.
What are we going to find out first? Well,
Liverpool attack. Norwich men behind the ball. So we expected that. Coventry positive. Yeah, Coventry positive. Watford keen for the early goals. So again, we expected them both to go for this one, didn't we?
Early save for Atmazidis there. Was it three saves for a save point or 2 saves for a save point? I've forgotten. But good start for him. I think that was a save in 35 seconds for him there. So
it was, yeah.
Early start for him.
Newcastle seem keen. Oh, Quinn booked. Quinn owners in the mud already.
maybe it was a red card challenge, but the ref bottled it because it was 50. Maybe it was what's his name on the referee who did the Liverpool Chelsea game the weekend. He's in charge of this. Bottled it in the first minute to give the red.
Oh,
good start Coventry Watford, because I think your sims that we did on our pod together was attack versus attack that game, and it suggested quite a lot of goals. And the fact that it seems like both teams have come out on the front foot attacking suggests that it's going to live up to a high scoring game potentially, that one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pleased that's come out. It looks, like you say, it looks like it is attack versus attack. So pleased to see that.
Not much else. I was surprised there weren't a few more teams. I'm not saying it would say it in every game for every team, but was only 3 home teams there out of 10 that it has shown at least that are playing attacking. I don't know if Tottenham will be obviously a few bigger teams, Tottenham, Blackburn, for example, have got fairly tricky away games against a higher rep team. So maybe that will stop them going overboard early on. I don't know if that really works. That's how it really works, but it's possible.
Yeah. I think the teams that we expect to be attacking will be attacking. Well, here comes Wally. 5 million midfielder at Bolton. Brannigan is a save for he's probably just caught a cross there.
5-foot Rod Wallace flicking the ball on against Herman Hreiderson. That's not something you see every day, is it?
No. Hits for Pedersen. Chance for Pedersen. Oh, there we go. There's a save for Brannigan from Pedersen.
It's a shame no one's got him.
Yeah, nobody's got him. Nobody thought he'd play. Lots of Pedersen owners, though, I think. Pedersen was popular, the drafts that I saw. So he's really appealing as a midfielder this season, isn't he? Especially with the game week 2 fixture.
I think that's what he's in for, isn't it? Get people getting set for next week. He's probably definitely one of the 3 captain. I'm sure a lot of people will be on a Man United player as their main captain, but Pedersen as a vice next week's more than plausible, isn't it? In that game against Norwich. We'll get an insight how bad they are here, but maybe you can't take anything away. Another thing for new players maybe here is you've seen the Norwich formation tonight away to Liverpool, but their mentality will be different in an away game to a home game. So they may play generally a more attacking style next week, not so defensive. And the formation, that some teams don't always play the same formations home and away. And in Blackburn's case, don't even play the same formation in home games. A lot of teams do stick religiously to like 4-4-2. They play it in every game, just they change up whether they're attacking or normal or something like that. Maybe they play a bit more counter-attacking away games. But I don't think that's Norwich's standard formation, what we're seeing here, is it? So next week we may get 4-4-2, or I think it's wing-backs, isn't it, for Norwich?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it looks like that to me. So we've seen Janssen and Fowler miss a great chance.
Oh, he's lucky there, Gary Holt.
Gary Holt, spicy.
That's a red card in 2022. He's lucky this game's 20 years old. He's got
definitely.
20-year-old tackle there, I think.
Holt and Quinn both in the book already for Newcastle. So they're Newcastle midfielder. They're walking a bit of a tightrope already.
I don't know if you saw, but when on the official account they announced the referees for these games. Not that really has any bearing on anything, but there was quite a few father and son duos refereeing these games. So I don't know which one. Maybe one will try and upstage the other one. Interesting from Blackburn, 2 new signings there already linking up. Get the ball in towards Crouch straight away from Antonelius.
Yeah.
A bit like real life. There's Crouch again, winning another header.
2-guy jumped horribly wide. 2 chances for Crouch though, quick succession. So two guy whipping in the corners there towards Peter Crouch. So
something to monitor, that, isn't it? Because we've not seen Crouch before in this sim. He's obviously been in the sim at lower leagues, but this is the first time we've had him as a fantasy opportunity. So it's interesting to see how well he does and how Blackburn play with him. Because if he is someone that does win a lot of headers and is a big goal threat in that circumstance, someone like 2-guy on set pieces becomes a much better asset, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like 2-guy anyway, but yeah, now he's got Peter Crouch to aim at.
We saw in season 1, didn't we? Dennis Wire's got something stupid, double-figure assists, wasn't it, for Leicester? Basically all from corners when they had X number of Taggart, Elliott, and whoever else attacking the ball. They scored a lot of goals from set pieces, didn't they, Leicester, season 1? And Blackburn probably are the early favourites. If someone is going to do that again, I would say it's probably going to be Blackburn. So maybe, I don't think he scores too many goals, 2-guy, but if you're happy for someone to keep ticking over for like 10, 15 assists a season,
yeah,
then he's definitely in that category, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Lots of excitement for Tariko in the chat. So we've both got him as well, haven't we? So
he was my last transfer in last night. I haven't changed my team at all today, but I basically wanted an Ipswich defender and a Newcastle midfielder, and I had Heriderson for ages because he's better for bonus points, and I thought that was just a better way to start. But to afford him, I had to have Stephen Hughes, who obviously takes set pieces for Newcastle. But I'd said on one of our early streams together, I really wanted Kieran Dyer because Newcastle play against teams that play wing-backs in the first 3 game weeks. But Dyer's 0.5 more than Hughes, so I had to find the 0.5 to do that, and Tarako's 0.5 less than Heriderson. So I was basically in the position where it was Hughes and Heriderson, which is probably the safer pairing, or maybe upside chasing a little bit with Tarako and Dyer. And I decided I wanted to go for Tarako and Dyer in the end because the appeal of Dyer just... I know people have just their favourite players, don't they? A lot of Newcastle fans will naturally have Shearer in this game just because, for historical reasons. And I haven't got that sort of link with Dyer. I don't like or dislike him as a person, but I wanted to play him over these first 3 game weeks against those wing backs. So that basically was the overriding factor in the end that made me sort of decide on that 50-50 call, but it could go either way. Stephen Hughes will probably score first goal now in a minute.
Is Holt going for it again? Holt in the action. Caught nothing from Shearer yet. Cole Court grazes the crossbar.
We had a demo run, didn't we? We'll say now we had us two and captain had a demo run on Sunday, not using our sim. We used a different sim from last season. And we just commented on about the first 25 minutes how Shearer hadn't touched the ball and then his name pops up and he scored, didn't he?
Yeah,
in the demo we ran last week. I can't think who it was against. It wasn't Newcastle v Everton. It wasn't from season 3, I don't think.
No.
It was to test the functionality of how things would work, wasn't it? And yeah, it was funny that day we just mentioned Shearer out the blue because he'd been so quiet and pretty much.
So Shearer, we got some. So captain's just dropped us some ownership stats. So they're not going to come up on the screen, but he's just dropped them to us here. So Shearer 27 or just about 28% owned. Most owned forward Van Nistelrooy 38.5%. Then Alan Boxic 30%. Shearer 28%. Henry 21%. Larson 19%. Angel 18.5%. Crouch 18%. Wayne Rooney 13.6%. So I think that's new players falling into a bit of a trap there, isn't it, with Wayne Rooney? Yeah, that's a bit of surgery on your squad straight away. Rooney's not going to play too much. Everton have got about 50 forwards ahead of him, haven't they? But
we're still on the bench tonight, and he still hasn't even made the bench, has he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, four forwards in Everton's squad tonight, and Rooney isn't one of them. So you can expect that to continue. Viduka 12% and Fowler 12%. So
they've made it difficult for themselves, Rooney owners, because he's so cheap as well. There's clearly not a sideways move that's going to play either. I think we've mentioned before. I think you're looking at probably about 6 million to get the first really playing striker. So not only have people got to get rid of him now, they've got to find 1.5 to upgrade him to someone else who probably isn't really all that good.
Yeah.
But, to play unless you're just going to write him off as a third bench every week and not play 3 strikers, which is probably not advisable in this game. But it could work, couldn't it, if you've got a good enough midfield, for example?
Yeah, I suppose if you've doubled up on I don't know, Van Nistelrooy and Veron, then maybe that's your fodder that you've sacrificed. But yeah, I imagine there's a lot of new players that have just gone for Rooney. But yeah, he's not going to play, unfortunately.
We're not going to get that Arsenal moment, are we, when he comes off the bench and hammers one in off the underside of the crossbar? I don't think that's going to happen in this sim.
Certainly not for the first 30-odd weeks. I wouldn't expect it.
What are we thinking about Van Nistelrooy? 38.5% ownership. Obviously, that's a big decrease on season 2. I think he was up near 80% at times in season 2 and captain by all of that percentage pretty much as well. We haven't got captain stats for this week, so I don't know. Something's still being worked on the Gaffer site, I think. So we can't tell you what the captaincy ratios are. But do we think that most of that 38.5% have captained him, or do you reckon that some people just put the vice on him or something this week?
Yeah, I imagine a lot of captained him, but I think it's good because you don't want someone up at 80% ownership, do you? Really, it's good. I think a lot of people have made the decision. Of course, Ziga booked there. That's good news for Chelsea. See, Carboni's taking set pieces there. Something to note if you didn't know that. Carboni set piece taker for Chelsea.
Oh, Rebroff.
Well, Rebroff's got a chance. Good lad. Good lad.
Kudachini won't get his place back now after that, so I guess he will.
No, yes. Kudachini in the mud. What was I saying? Yeah, I think a lot of people have just made a decision between Ruud or Varane, haven't they? So it's good to see his ownership sort of down nearer everybody else. You don't want it to be a 10-player game, do you? So I think the guys have done really well there.
Engel, good chance or over. It's probably worth pointing out with free kick takers as well. It may be a different player per team depending on if it's like a free kick from in their own half or up near the goal. So Gareth Barry just took one there. He's not on free kicks for Aston Villa as far as I'm aware. Because it was a deeper free kick where you can just lump one into the box. Maybe he did take it. But don't just like read everything you see on screen and see someone take a free kick and then decide that they're on free kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite a surprise. 12 minutes in pretty much, no goal.
Yeah, there's got to be something coming soon. There's got to be.
Maybe we'll get 10 0-0s.
We just have Solano competing for a header, so stuff's coming.
Maybe that's why they decided not to run it on Twitter again. It was they simmed game week 1, realised it was 10 0-0s, and then thought, oh, that's far too much filler to have to write into 6 hours of tweets. We'll do this way instead. It's a lot less time consuming. So I'm worried now we're going to get 10 0-0s.
Well, no, I'm not 5 at the back. I was 5 at the back until the leak. But no, I don't want that.
The guy who was in the chat earlier who's ended up a goal.
Goal. Easy for Ipswich. So there you go. Marcus Stewart. I mean, can I even see his ownership here? I don't think anyone owns him.
That's really annoying. I did a Spaces with Luke like 2 days ago, and I think there was comments then on cheap strikers. And I think he was the name, like Luke was saying about Cole Court, which I didn't disagree with as being, I think he was 6.5. But Marcus Stewart's one of those at 6 million, same as Alan Armstrong. It's obviously not clear which one was going to start. But 6 million striker, Stewart, you've obviously seen it in Sims as well, that he can get 10, 15 goals a season like fairly often if he gets the minutes. He's one of the better, cheaper strikers, isn't he?
Yeah, so I suppose we're both fairly happy with that because we both benched Ricardo Gardner.
Well, I didn't think he'd keep a clean sheet, Bolton.
No, not at all.
Anyone who picked injury-prone Jamie Redknapp as well gets an attacking return.
Yeah, he's very good when he plays, but so injury-prone.
I wouldn't have been brave enough to pick anyone with same with Nobby Solana. There's loads of examples in the sim of players with 20 for injury proneness, and more often than not, they do get injured. Like Owen, was it like 3 times last season, I think? Solano, 1 long injury, 1 short one. Redknapp, I don't think made it more than about 4 games in a row. Somehow Darren Anderton always makes it though, doesn't he? I don't see him get injured too much, and he had a reputation for always being injured. But,
yeah, he did have a reputation. I don't know if it was a bit unwarranted. I mean, it came up in a quiz. I don't know if it was the one you did for us over Christmas, actually, about Tottenham's record Premier League appearance maker is Darren Anderton. Or something.
It was in that. Yeah, it was in that.
So, yeah, you wouldn't expect that, would you? But I think he played a lot more games than people give him credit for, actually.
But, yeah, fair play for Gary Redknapp. It's risky. 1, he's injury prone, and 2, that Ipswich midfield was very hit and miss who was going to play outside of Matt Holland. So, yeah, anyone that was brave enough to take that punt has been rewarded game week 1.
Is it? It's just gone off injured. So that was our first gash leg of the season, I think. 14 minutes. Anyone have it? Is it 14 minutes for gash leg? Come and collect your prize.
I was about to sing the "Do You Really Like It" DJ Pied Piper song there because it kind of fits in with the Is It narrative. But I don't think I should spoil my great singing voice in the game week 1 live stream. I think I'll save that for a day when my captain scores a hat trick or something. Maybe I'll bust that into song. Not just for Muzzy, is it getting injured? They have me rivaling FPL Pig as the best singers on FPL.
I'd love that. I'd love that if you did a weekly song for this. That'd be fantastic. You've just taught yourself into something there, I think. Gash leg drink. Fair enough.
All right, I'm in. You've got that. I've got this.
I'll get you. What, you're like a Christmas party or something? You're still in the Christmas party season. See what happened on the.
I'm quite a big gin guy, and we went a bit mad, me and the missus, over Christmas and bought various types of flavoured ones just to sample them. So this is Whitney Neal watermelon and kiwi.
Nice.
Big difference to the first 2 seasons with Planet FPL James and then Mode and Irons. Well, what they was drinking, I don't think you got watermelon gin and tonic, did you? On those live streams.
I don't know. Mode liked a gin, didn't he? He had the gin glasses out a few times, I think, amongst his fruity ciders.
I don't cope too well with beer at my age. I'm not that old, but Yeah, I'm not quite so good with beer anymore. Bit too fizzy and stuff for me. I think I much prefer the gin these days. Old before my time. That's how I've learned. Aching getting up off the floor and drink too much gin. That's it.
Right, another chat. We're going to get another goal. Vanatza. I like Vanatza.
Go on, Helgeson. Get in there, son.
Always a good, popular cheap pick. Helgeson. That's one of yours, isn't it, Helgeson?
He's my big differential. I think it was like 2% owned this afternoon when I was looking. So, and he was my lowest. I looked and I had like 6 players below 10% ownership, which I was quite happy with, to be fair. It's nice to have a couple of differentials to cheer on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I saw you posted your ownership stats for your players. I didn't get time to do that in the end. Yeah, I'm not sure how differential my team is, but
yeah, I was surprised by Helgeson because
we could have a red here.
Newcastle.
Madness on his debut.
Are they?
A double substitution. Elliott for Bernard, who was out of position for Dabby's ass.
So Shearer's up front on his own. It looks like Elliott's probably gone left wing, do we think, for Bernard?
Must have done, yeah.
They've gone some sort of...
Chance for Larson.
Both their centre-backs, from memory, Newcastle, can play central midfield. Garso and Danny Griffin, they both can play midfield. So my guess is, we obviously won't know which one, but I reckon one of those two have now gone into midfield to play with Stephen Hughes. And that's obviously can only play in centre-back, so he's going to be at centre-back now with the other one, and Shearer's going to be up front by himself. Chance for Johnson there. Save for us. Yeah. One thing it didn't say is Newcastle had sort of calmed down. I think they were one of those teams that went out of an attacking mentality. There was a comment right at the start about they were going for it or whatever the line was. I didn't see anything flash through there about anything more defensive or they've calmed down or changed shape or anything. So that's promising if you've got Shearer. Great debut though for Gary Holt. That's got to be up there with Jonathan Woodgate territory, isn't it?
Definitely two crazy yellow cards.
We could have gone for the first one based on the. I don't know if the comment was a realistic one or one that captain overplayed, but could have happened. Is Jeffers
wide from Jeffers?
If you'd have passed it to Henry, you would have scored. That's all he had to do.
Well, that's the good thing about Jeffers. This is why Jeffers can have a 15-20 goal season occasionally, because he will just shoot, I think. No chance for Leeds. Larson again. Come on, Larson.
Another one for new players. I think like there's certain moments in games where substitutes happen, and red cards is one of them. And I say they made a double substitution. I'm guessing that just at that one precise moment, Bernard wasn't having a great game. And so, a chance for Shearer despite the 10 men. Another thing, Everton won't change formation either. So Newcastle have only now got one up front in a sort of a 4-4-1. But I'm pretty sure Everton will still play 3 at the back and a DM, despite the fact they're now against one striker, which is obviously not what you would do if you was a real manager, is it? But say the AI managers aren't skilled enough to make that adjustment, I don't think.
Is Vanatza's busy again?
I'm sure Everton have come to this game with the mindset they'll be happy with a draw. So even if it's 0-0 after 75 minutes against 10 men, they won't go for it, will they? So
no, I don't think so.
Lee Hughes.
I was going to say that screams goal, or that build-up screams goal.
Goal there for Deacon. Deacon's got Lee Hughes, or did have until about half an hour before the deadline. I was talking to him before the deadline about Lee Hughes versus Helgeson as the 7 million striker.
Yeah,
he had Helgeson already. He had Lee Hughes. You'll know him. He's one of the guys on Twitter who's been releasing some sim data information. He did the Sim It to Win It podcast as well in season 2 if you were playing then. But he's doing some information around Sims this year. FF Deacon, I think, is his Twitter handle. I'm pretty sure he's got Lee Hughes, so good start for him. And here's Robbie Fowler, continuing on from last time, missing chances.
That's 3 saves from Mercer already, I think. Well, what we've seen. Berger winning headers.
That's the thing with these bad keepers. I know people have said it about Headman, but you know with these cheap keepers, they're going to concede a load of goals. But if you're getting 7-8 saves a game, you may still get like 3 points off them. And you can get 2 points by having quite a good keeper who basically does nothing but lets one in. So, which is why Jääskeläinen was so good last year, because he got like 2 save points pretty much every game, didn't he? And he got way more clean sheets than he probably should have done.
Yeah.
But even in the weeks where he conceded, he was still matching a lot of the goalkeepers just by save points. And I think in your sims as well, one of the ones we did where you looked at your sim data for the season, Mercer was the goalkeeper with the top average rating like 2 or 3 times, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, he was.
And if he's getting save points as well.
Rickard, chance for Rickard.
No. Well done.
Oh, I was going to say.
That would be my biggest hate tonight if he did something.
Marinelli, this is a goal. Goal, Marinelli. Barra up and running. So that was a save, wasn't it? So I think that would be no assist.
Yeah,
no assist.
Everyone loaded up on Triple Borough, who are free hitting next week, probably didn't have him in there.
No, probably not. I mean, there was always the risk with him that he wouldn't play, and then obviously a blank. So probably wasn't a popular pick, but yeah, good player.
I imagine most on the triple up went double defence and one of the strikers, or the other way around, 1 defender and 2 strikers. Some would have gone for Johnson or Zepeda, I would think. But I think Miller and Marinelli would have largely been ignored. But he did play, didn't he? Quite a lot towards the end of the season too. He kind of worked his way into the team last sort of 10 game weeks or so. Marinelli, I think he was quite cheap, wasn't he, last year?
Yeah, he sort of broke in ahead of Paul Ince, I think, didn't he? So yeah, is Stewart now?
Left-footed, wasn't he? On his right foot. Needs to shift it to his left. Go on, Tarako. I didn't know he was on corners.
Tarako assist. Come on. This screams goal. Oh.
Did you know he took corners? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Makes me feel a bit better about my decision to play him. Obviously, not good news for my Kieran Dyer pick now, because I suppose he's still against the wing back and they've still got 2-on-1 overload out wide, but Newcastle got to get the ball. I suppose Shearer's still in there to finish, but it's not generally a good sign, is it, to have a player in a team with 10 men? I know that's sort of stating the obvious, but on this team, on this game even, it's quite natural. Any red card, the team just naturally goes to one up front, don't they?
Yeah, it massively changes the game. Obviously, it changes the approach from the 2 teams, and yeah, once there's a red card in a game, it can really go off, and there can be some hammerings.
Good quote from Elliot Lander in the chat, by the way. Just noticed that Everton are top of the league. I didn't notice that. Coventry even.
Coventry top of the league, yeah. Yeah.
See how long that lasts for.
In the chat, disable in the chat. All my players tickling balls. Yeah, it's been a bit of a teaser for Tarako and the Middlesbrough boys, isn't it? Especially.
I won't be too upset by this because I was on quite a defensive lineup tonight. So the fact none of the players I haven't got that I was worried about have done anything yet is I'd gladly snap your hand off for this now at the minute, I think. Yeah,
I mean, nothing bad's happened. That's one thing. But
it's literally only people who've got Matzidis in goal, anyone that's played Gardner.
Yeah.
And they're probably the only people really that have been impacted by anything so far, unless anyone had Gary Holt. I'm not sure how many teams he was in, Gary Holt, but people probably would have started him if they picked him, bearing in mind he was playing at home. So, that's not a good sign if you had Gary Holt. But I say normally it's a red card. It's someone who's a bit more highly owned and a bit more important than someone like Gary Holt. So, yeah, we're doing all right at the moment. It says halfway through the first half now, but I think it'll pick up soon, won't it? I think.
Yeah, you quite often get a flurry, don't you? Is it shot from Janssen, clean over the bar? He's having lots of shots, Janssen, isn't he?
There were some stats last year about minutes where goals were. I can't remember what the answers were, but where goals were like. There was some minutes in the game when few goals were in. I think it was 45 to 60, like the start of the second half. That was generally a quiet time for goals. Luke Chadwick from Dwight York passed. Man City clean sheet wipeout. We haven't said the old classic clean sheet wipeout yet. There we go.
Yeah, that clean sheet wipeout gag's not going to work with this, is it? But we can't wind people up with it. Now Pennant involved. Jeffers, he's going to shoot.
Why is he getting all the shots? Give it to Henry. Don't get yellow carded, Lucas Neal.
He's just trying to get a shot away.
Yeah,
it's goal, Jeffers. Oh no, it's offside. Offside from Jeffers. How's he offside? He just jinked past about 4 players, didn't he?
And he's booked him as well.
Now he's booked, so I think I'd get booked as well if I ran past 2 players and was flagged offside.
Maybe the ref blew up when he started the run and he carried on running past. That's why no one tackled him. That's why he scored, because the ref blew up and not let him carry on going. He's got to prove himself to the manager.
He's
got to prove himself to the manager that he's better than Graham Barrett. So he's gone on a jinking run to try and score tonight.
Yeah, it did seem unlikely that he'd be offside, bearing in mind what he did afterwards. But there you go. And he's been
VAR in 2002, was it? So over the halfway line, was it?
Jeff is in the books.
We've got these are fully legit apparently from Captain. He's just shared with us what happened. So Pennant crossed it towards the near post. Jeffers trapped it nicely, moved in on goal, jinked past Neil, got away from Neil and scored. So he must have been offside from the original low cross from Pennant.
Across to the near post, and then he's jinked past 2 players and finished it. I'd love to see this goal. I really would. All this non-goal.
Some of this stuff is quite unreasonable and unfeasible, isn't it? What you get in the ChampMan chat. It's
Svensson, underachiever from last season, I think.
Bartes
couldn't gather the ball cleanly. That's not news. Bartes smothered the ball, second attempt.
Must have been 3 months off. No one's bought him any new goalkeeper gloves because that's basically season 2 all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry, Ben Baker. Your pennant assist has been robbed. Unfortunate that. Someone's mentioned that Brannigan's 45. Is he even moving? Is he quite that old? Maybe he's 45.
Well, he might be today, but I don't know about then.
Blackburn trying to, come back into it, but it's 0-0, isn't it? I forgot that. I got disallowed.
Dale Turner can't wait for match of the day. Yeah, I'm interested in that in that disallowed goal.
From your recollection, when is the busier half of goals, first or second? Because I think first is normally busier, isn't it? Because teams generally go for it more in the first half.
Yeah. I think it quite often is the first half. I think it can be either, to be honest. I think once
debut goal there. Malcolm Christie on debut.
Malcolm Christie, great debut for Everton. Yeah, that's a shame. I think he'd have been, if there wasn't the blank in week 2, I think he'd have been a more popular pick, maybe. But yeah, there's the Newcastle clean sheet gone and down to 10 men as well. So I don't know. Is there a chance that they're gonna that game will just close off now? Maybe because the away teams.
No guarantees Newcastle will go for it, even if they're down to 10, because they've got just because they're down to 10 men doesn't really matter.
Away team in front and the home team down to 10 men. That screams of.
There's a goal. Hamilton Rickard. The goal I was dreading's gone in.
Oh, devastating for Rickard. Wrong Borough striker.
An assist, I think, from the left, deep cross, and Rickard back stick. I think towering header. Yeah, the goal I was dreading.
Yeah, same. Alan Postman, the postman, he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it. 2-0 Middlesbrough. Hopefully they haven't used up all their goals for us boxic owners.
Possible extra 3 points for the vice captain is there, I think, as well. I can imagine he would have been a reasonably popular vice captain tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
He's on beyond 6 when he fought for the goal, and then so 6 overall, 1.5 points. So you're 9 for Rickard owners at the moment before Boders. Not too bad if you vice captained him for 9 points there.
Here comes the Liverpool clean sheet wipeout.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
There's the first of their 3 shots that they're getting.
Unbelievable! There's
against the run of play.
Most people would have probably not gone with a Liverpool defender now after the Hippian news. I kept Biscan. So
yeah, I think a lot of people kept Biscan, to be fair. But yeah, you see in the commentary against the run of play, I think that's probably their first shot of the game.
One of those 2-3 shots, 1 on target, 1 goal at the final whistle. I'm sure we'll get the reveal at the end of the game on the match stats. Would not surprise me if that's their only shot on target in the whole game. It happened quite a lot to Man United, didn't it, in season 2? They conceded from 1 shot on target quite a lot.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, that's the way it goes. So I think Liverpool were about a 60-70% clean sheet chance. So that's gone.
One thing to point out about Christie while we were still talking about him, I know he's just scored, but the fact Christie, Campbell and Cerratos were all priced the same suggests to me that it's not clear which 2 of those 3 play.
Yeah.
And we were talking about at the start, some players that will just drop out randomly. And the fact Christie could score 2 this week and Campbell could play a 5 average rate and do nothing still makes no difference to game week 2, does it? Or I think they've got a blank, haven't they? It'll be game week 3 in Everton's case. But it could still be It wouldn't surprise me if Cerratos come in for Christie for game week 3.
No, yeah, exactly what we said at the start. You can't read too much into these opening lineups, really, especially where it's close calls and players that you wouldn't expect to be playing.
So yeah, new managers shouldn't go on form. Form is definitely a non-thing in Fantasy Champ Manager. So obviously, FPL form is one of the things you can use to make transfers, fixtures, form, etc. Don't pay any attention to form in this game. It's pretty much fixtures only, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not clever enough. Perez taking on Berg. Perez shoots.
Interesting.
Their terrible goalkeeper makes it. Oh, it comes back to him though. Oh, goal, Perez. So well
Second
done.
most known midfielder yesterday.
Yeah, well done. If after the leak you kept him, well played.
Dodgy goalkeeping, do we think? We weren't sure about the Blackburn goalkeeper, were we?
Yeah, he looks like he's fumbled it straight back to him.
There's a Gardner cross.
Pedersen, come on, Pedersen. This would be nice. Oh, Brannigan.
Don't know if I want the Gardner assist.
Come on,
Pedersen.
His touch lets him down. Come on, Henrik.
He's not a footballer, is he? He looks like an estate agent, so that's probably why his touch let him down. He's pick a footballer, Bolton, and you'll be all right. Yeah. Good one for Perez owners, though. I say, yeah, the league can affect Arsenal start off with 3 away games. I think he was one I was unsure about starting from game week 1, Perez. There's no doubt of what he can do, but the fixtures plus the league didn't suggest it was a good week to have him. No. I say his ownership was, I'm pretty sure he was second behind Veron. Arca's just hit the post for Sunderland. Another clean sheet wipeout would annoy quite a lot of people. That's the second one if Sunderland scored. I'd probably be less surprised if Sunderland scored than Norwich, to be fair, though. That Norwich one's a right kick in the teeth, isn't it?
Yeah, that's gonna be one of 3 or 4 shots that they have all game. But here come Liverpool. Barnby on the run.
And Danny
Murphy. Mercer again, another save.
Super keeper, is it this week?
Could be. Hegum taking the corner. Heskey winning headers. Jamie Carragher. Fowler, he's quite popular. Oh, Mercer's fumbled it. Risa. Mercer smothers again. Mercer's
a keeper game, this, isn't it? This could be like 15 shots to 1 at the full-time whistle, 1-0 Norwich.
What's he on? He's on a good 4 or 5 saves already, isn't he? If not more.
They'll probably give him a 7 in the average ratings, won't they, as well?
Fowler again. Couldn't keep it down.
This is Fowler from last year, isn't it?
Yeah.
He needs to be the one having 3 or 4 shots. And his goal tally at the end of the season wasn't especially high, was it? And go on, Biscan. Is he going to do something? Is Hegum finding Heskey?
Emil.
Not what you want is Heskey. I almost had a Ray Parlour moment there with Tim Lovejoy. Not what you want is Heskey on the half volley from the edge of the area. Heskey's proved me wrong, like Ray Parlour proved Tim Lovejoy wrong there. We didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Oh, Heskey. Liverpool strikers to start with. It was risky, but obviously playing Norwich, so there was always a chance that at least one of them would score.
You had him in your very first draft, didn't you, Heskey?
I did.
Not to rub it in. But,
no, I did, yeah.
Oh, Balaban injured, twisted his knee there.
The cell. So
luckily for Aston Villa, they didn't name 4 defenders on the bench, just the 3. So they've got 1 striker they can bring on. So unfortunate for those that did make the saving from Engel. It did make a lot of sense, I think. Like me personally, I think if I was going to go for a Villa striker, I would have punted on Balaban with the saving over Engel.
Yeah.
But
it's 2 guys.
Goal.
Oh, there we go. Goal for Blackburn. Turkish Delight. I think that's the captain's artistic license there. Turkish Delight.
No, it says that on the game, doesn't it? There's
nice,
me. Rewind 20 minutes, and I say 2 guy don't score very many. You get him for the assist, and he scored 20 minutes later.
And that's again. He's been very busy. Is Helgeson is your boy? Ooh, wide of the goal.
You notice that in a lot of these games, the teams that are having shots, it's the same striker having most of them. Like Ricard, I haven't seen Boxic mentioned once. Ricard's had about 3 chances. Obviously, Heskey scored, but Fowler's been getting the bulk. I think I've seen, like, Henry hasn't had a mention, but Jeff has had about 3 chances.
Yeah, nothing from Tommy Smith yet either.
No, so Helgeson's getting a lot. I don't think Van Nistelrooy's name's come up yet either.
No.
It seems like the games where he's attacking. I don't think Viduka, have we seen him yet? Last one or 2.
There's a player waving to the bench. Who's this at Leeds?
Leeds game. Here comes Harry. It's Harpo Singh. Here comes Ian Hart.
Oh, it's going to be Larson. It's going to be Larson, isn't it? Johnson. Oh, Mark Viduka in.
Oh, wow.
Dear.
Wow. There's the big news.
Wow.
That's harsh, but that's the rub of the green. That's very harsh. That big gains for the non-game week 2 free hitters. I think that one.
Yeah, definitely.
The only good news for managers, I say good news, but the only manager, so obviously no game for Leeds next week. So anyone that had Viduka was probably selling anyway. And the same with Balaban. The fact that Villa have got Arsenal away in game week 2, you probably didn't want to be playing him in that game either. So at least there's 2 players that you weren't really relying on for game week 2 that have got injured. Not that it makes it any better for tonight because, was that Dean Sturridge there?
Go. Break out the GIF. Uncle Dean Sturridge. Legend of the game, scores on game week 1, season 3. That's quite nice. Joby McAnuff assist.
It's like you knew. You get leaks of information, Mike. I'm a bit concerned that you knew what was happening.
It's the only shirt I've got with a player in the game with a name on the back.
Yeah, I do feel bad for Viduka owners have been a bit unlucky there. It's he was a logical captain, I think, for most teams that got a free hit game week 2. I think it was him or Boxic, wasn't it, or him or a Middlesbrough striker. And
yeah.
I think I was quite surprised this morning when his ownership was about 12% Viduka. I thought it would have been much higher, like double that. But as we know from real football, injuries occur in any game. He's not especially injury prone from memory. I don't know what his injury proneness stat is for Viduka, but I don't remember him getting injured in the first 2 seasons even. I don't think.
No, he's been very reliable. So yeah, I'd be interested in how long he's out for though, wouldn't it?
Is Smith out for a while as well?
Coventry. I can't remember how long Smith's out for.
He's out as well. So if that Simon Johnson had just come on, may well be 4th choice. They've obviously got a choice now, Leeds. They could put Robbie Keane up front, move Harry Kewell into the AMC role, and then play Core or Batty or something with McFell. But it wouldn't surprise me if they just left Keane as the AMC, left Kewell as the central midfielder, and then brought that Johnson guy in to play up front.
Yeah, could easily happen.
His price isn't very high. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but if Viduka's out and Smith's out for game week 3, Leeds have got a good home game, haven't they? Game week 3.
Yeah, I think it's Watford. So yeah, that would be good.
Simon Johnson for game week 3 now, possibly. It's going to be an unknown because I say they could just push Keane up front, couldn't they? And it's one of those things we're not going to know until the team reveals on the match day.
Tariko to Stewart.
He's managed it down though. Chippo instead. Why are you being unselfish for, Michael Stewart? Go for goal.
I like commentary again. Stewart headed the ball down for Cheapo, who hit a volley. I suppose it can happen, but
they've all turned into Kovacic, right? All these ChampMan
players.
Like 8 long shots think they can do a Kovacic and
Ramberg. Goal Ramberg. So that's the Ipswich clean sheet gone. Bolton seem to be taking fewer risks, so Bolton happy to be level and are going to sit back off again.
You'd be worried as a Pedersen owner now, wouldn't you? I think that might be their goals done for the game. Unless if they concede, they might switch back up to more attacking mentality. But as long as this is 1-1, I think they'll be staying fairly defensive. So I don't think if you've got a Wallace or a Pedersen now, your chances are just heavily reduced, I think, from that comment that you're going to get anything from them. Crouch.
Save Westfeld. 2 guy.
Oh, there's a surprise. Campbell.
Solano seems to be challenging for a lot of headers in the box. Come on, Neil.
Wrong way around. Crouch head it down for Neil, not the other way around.
Come on, Crouchy.
No, the other way around. Lucas still might have scored. I'll tell you what we'll do. 2 guys meant to have 20 for set pieces. He's looked in the area and saw Lucas Neal up against Sol Campbell and thought, I know what I'll do. I'll aim for him. We've got Peter Crouch here. We've got Weatherall and Berg up from the back and Curtis, but I'll swing it in towards the left winger who's being marked by Sol Campbell.
No, it's a good play. He thought Campbell was going to be asleep there, marking Neil. Eustace. Hughes jumps above Vega. This screams goal. Oh no, clean over the bar.
He was my first cheap striker in my very first draft for 7 million, Lee Hughes. So he was initially on my radar. Then you made the comment about what he was like in real life, and that put me off putting him in my team. I know that shouldn't make any difference who goes in your fantasy football team, but it did feel a bit wrong in some ways having Lee Hughes in your draft. I think that did sway my decision slightly when it probably shouldn't have done. There's Griffin running forward. Maybe
Shearer, is it first chance, first goal? No, not
I
quite.
wonder if that means that Griffin's the one that's gone into midfield then, if he's the one that's... I wouldn't put it past this game. They've got 10 men and it's a centre-back charging forward to release Shearer. It's more than possible in this game, but
Yeah.
I would suggest now Guardso stayed back with Dabizas and Griffin's gone into midfield with Hughes. And to be fair, I've managed Griffin on this game a few times myself, and I tend to prefer him in midfield.
Ooh, another red card, but first Main Road.
There's a goal coming here. We're not going off to Main Road for nothing.
Jink pass. Oh, Van Nistelrooy is going to score, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got to score with a
hopeful looking shot.
No, he's trolled us.
That's more important than a red card, apparently.
He's trolled us.
Newcastle down to 9 men. Who's gone here?
Wait, one. It didn't say Newcastle. It said a red card.
Griffin. Fucking hell.
Whoever's playing right central midfield for Newcastle is having a right nightmare. Who's playing left central midfield for Everton? It's causing all. That's Titoff, I think. Titoff with that up arrow is getting everyone sent off who's directly opposite, up against them. They can't cope with Titoff's runs into the AFC role.
Wow. I mean we said that game was probably done, but yeah, I'd probably fancy Everton to score another 1 or 2 now.
It's 3-on-1 against Stephen Hughes now, because I don't think they've changed. They certainly didn't make a sub. And this game ain't clever enough to narrow the midfield, so they'll still probably have Elliott and Dyer stuck out on the touchline and leave Stephen Hughes all in the middle by himself, won't they?
Yeah.
They could move Dyer into the middle with him. I think he does play central, but I don't think they will. So it'll be Hughes against Paz, who will still be playing holding midfield, despite only having one central midfielder against him. And then, yeah, he's going to be... Stephen Hughes is going to get about a 4 average rating for this game, I think.
Yeah, I think it's not good news at all.
We saw it, didn't we, in season 2 of Ipswich sometimes. I think Matt Holland ended up basically in a central midfield role by himself. I would not be surprised though if Titoff's literally got the whole midfield side of the pitch to himself, because they won't even move the central midfielder into the middle. They'll just leave Hughes like marginally off to the left, won't they? So Newcastle won't have anyone in their right central midfield channel. So Titoff, as Everton's left central midfielder, has now just got full run right through that part of the pitch. So he's going to be involved in something, I think, here, Titoff.
Leeds well on the attack here. Oh, Kuhl's, he tried to do it all himself. Pirlo's beard, Newcastle players deliberately getting sent off in protest at Joe fucking Kinnear still being...
They should do. Don't blame them. Shit tactic. Do your shit tactic, go somewhere else.
Is this an Abbey Brace? Zima Abbey Brace here? Oh.
You didn't comment on that, Martin, when you talk about their shit tactic. You didn't say they was reckless and reckless, bravely aggressive.
Yeah.
Another save for Billy Mercer.
Save for Mercer.
This is super keeper. He's got to have made 10 saves here in this half.
Yeah, it's a lot. Another season of Kinnear being very insecure. Yeah, definitely.
He's not yet, is he? I think they've already said on the stream that Peter Shreves at Sunderland was on the management board.
On the block, yeah. Johnson's
right.
Come on, Henrik.
Cool. Take on Peter Shreves, won't it? If they score right after we just mentioned that.
Oh, Sullivan.
You don't want Harry Kewell taking right foot volleys, do you? To be fair, it's not his strength, I wouldn't think.
Not really. He was offside anyway. David Strong, I'm begging you for Mercer with musical notes.
It's not another song.
Yeah.
Duffy in the chat, is it?
Duffy, that's it. I was trying to think of who's that. Duffy.
Who's that referee there in that Newcastle game? It was just David Weir's been booked in that game now.
Yellow's all over.
I've never seen a game in ChampMan get postponed for too many red cards for the same team.
No, what do you have to be down to? Is it 7?
7, I think. I don't know what happens if that happens. I've never seen it in this game in all my years playing. That team's had 4 sent off.
I don't think I have.
Rare. One of the first moments of this game. First Chelsea attack of the whole game, is it?
Carboni, well over.
But there might have been a chance early for Carboni, but not. Yeah, you had that down as a low scoring dead game, didn't you? Tottenham Chelsea. That's living up to expectation.
Yeah, definitely. Half time.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12 goals. Pretty steady in 10 games for the first half, isn't it?
Pretty steady, isn't it? I think, yeah, obviously Man United only won. Leeds haven't scored yet. Villa haven't scored yet.
Fair comment from Wavy in the chat that no, has any premium striker scored yet? I don't think they have.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. Template down the drain. It's early doors. We could easily get lots of goals in the second half.
Ricard's probably the most owned, sort of, not quite premium, is he? But he's probably the most owned player that's delivered something so far, I would think.
Yeah. So what was his ownership? Boxic was really high. Boxic was 30% behind Van Nistelooy. And then Ricard, I don't know if Ricard's even on this list. So despite the fact they're both 9 million, Ricard was heavily favoured.
So he's down at about 10%, Ricard, is he? Something like that?
Yeah, so the last one we've got on the list here from Captain is Fowler at 11.9. So yeah, he's less than that. So,
sorry, I'm just laughing at Adam English in the chat. 0 returns, captain off injured, happy days.
Happy days. We're back. We're back, baby.
That's going to sum it up for a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what's keeping me sane at the minute, the fact that it could be a lot worse.
I did like one of the tweets from the main account earlier. One of the replies to it was the Mrs. Doyle Father Ted gif. Like, maybe I like the misery when she gets the tea maker. John Snow,
Daniel Curtis, yeah.
First half went Boxic over Ricard due to ownership. Yeah, lots of us did it.
Andy Martin's been watching the Blackburn Arsenal game somewhere. I don't know what network that on. It must be paying like £15 a month subscription to something. Andy Martin. Apparently, David H is having a nightmare. I've missed what he did. 0 returns, no Ian Hart, and he's got Viduka and Balaban up front.
Oh, crikey. That's about as bad as it gets.
There's
always one. There's always got to be someone out there that's getting the brunt of everything.
I haven't found that person who's got Griffin and Holt Newcastle double up yet. Maybe FPL 2 went for it in the end.
Danny Griffin, ex-Reading, if there'd been enough Reading players to make a team, then he would have been in that. But
a few of us did it today. I'll put it on here. Like I entered an Aston Villa one. So there was a few of us that did zombie teams for the club we support. And you had to pick a squad of players that play for your club but don't play for them on this sim. So, for example, for Aston Villa, I had Perez in my midfield, Patrick Berger, Robbie Keane. Up front was Crouch and York. That team's actually killing it. Perez goal, Dwight York assist. That team's Julian Joachim on the bench, but people did them for their own teams as well. I think someone managed to cobble together, like Deacon I mentioned earlier, managed to cobble together a Wolves team. I think he had about 25 million in the bank after he managed to fill all the spots up, because none of them were actually any good. I don't think any of the players in his team, but someone tried to do an Everton one, I think was struggling. Newcastle quite useful with Viduka and Owen and things like that. But yeah, it's possible for some, like Arsenal was struggling to even get an 11 out, I think. But yeah, a few of us did zombie teams like that for a bit of a laugh to see what would happen at the end of the season with those teams, something a bit different. So we'll see how those. I think Villa got quite a good chance of winning that, to be honest, with the very good midfield club. I think it was Carboni, Keane, Berger, and Perez in midfield, which is not bad, is it?
No, not bad. I mean, they weren't exactly at their prime when they were at Villa, but I suppose it counts. I'll just read out the scores for a minute, because there were a few comments in the chat earlier that some people are just listening on audio. So halftime scores: Aston Villa 0, Leicester 1, Blackburn 1, Arsenal 1, Coventry 1, Watford 0, Ipswich 1, Bolton 1, Leeds 0, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 1, Norwich 1, Man City 0, Manchester United 1, Middlesbrough 2, Bradford 0, Newcastle down to 9 men 0, Everton 1, Tottenham 0, Chelsea 0.
FPL Jord, who did very well last year, finished top 10, was up there for quite a lot of the time. Is I call it bragging in the chat. He's got a York assist, a Redknapp assist, and he's got a Ricard goal as his vice captain. He could well be top the way things are going at the moment with those 3 returns.
Yeah. Question there: can we see the player rating so far from Alex Reynolds? So the reason we can't do that, Alex, is we wouldn't be able to do that without showing you the final scores. So we can't do that because it's kind of already happened.
I'm sure they're going on Twitter at full time. I haven't been following Twitter, but on the main account, the goals should be being tweeted out. And at the end of the full time whistle, you normally get a sort of a screen grab of the match stats for each game and a screen grab of the player performances for each club. And from there, it will highlight which players qualified for the bonus points for each respective game. So that will all come on Twitter at the final whistle. I think we'll probably be off air by then, won't we? By the time that, are we still on when that comes out? I don't know. We may still be on when that comes out.
Yeah, I think we read that out and then we're done. I think is that how it normally works.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Rightly. We can stay on for that.
Yeah. Got to be happy with that start. Rickard captain, Chadwick vice, Griffin third bench.
Wow, that's Chadwick vice. Great. One of the only people to even own Chadwick, I think. So fair play for taking that punt.
Yeah, I mean Rickard captain and Chadwick vice. He's got to be winning the thing at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, hoping Griffin ain't going to get on for him as his third bench. Alex Reynolds, good start. Don't recognise the name, so maybe he's a new player as well, which is a good start. Maybe not. I might just mean someone we've not interacted with, but yeah, good start.
Andy Martin locking in.
Who's Hughes who scored? Someone, Dan McLaughlin's put Hughes goal, postman, assist. Who's Hughes?
Lee Hughes, Coventry.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Lee Hughes. I was thinking, I couldn't remember who the other Hughes was. I had Stephen Hughes in my head. Lee Hughes, yeah. Nihil then, clean sheet wipeout for Yussi. Yeah, nice to see that happen because he's not my favourite player in this game. If anyone knows from season 2, I wouldn't go as far as I hate the guy, but he frustrated me to the end of the world and back in season 2. The amount of returns he got, I never owned him. So
he did very well last season, but we'll see. We'll see if he can repeat it. I'm not sure. Viduka captain, but have Christie and Rickard, so not too pissed off. Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? I mean, a 1-pointer for Viduka, but Christie and Rickard returns. That's pretty not too bad. 5 clean sheets at half time. Yeah, I suppose a lot of us have got a lot of clean sheets at time. So I'm on double Man United.
Oh, you went for it? Yeah. We talked about it a lot, didn't we?
Yeah, so I was double Liverpool until the league, and then I changed it to double Man United.
I had Roque Jr. with Ekiog, but I got a bit panicky about the early season rotation and thought they may throw Ronnie Johnson in. Yeah. I didn't want to take the risk with it, so I ended up putting Biscan in instead. I thought it was a bit more secure than Rocky Jr. But yeah, I'm a bit gutted now. I didn't go with that because that was what I initially was planning to do with my defence. And strangely enough, Biscan's my defender had his clean sheet wiped out.
Yeah.
And Rico as well. Double for me. I've only got 3 clean sheets still.
Yeah, and Biscan playing in midfield, probably not great for his bonus prospects, is it? You'd rather he was centre-back, I think.
You never know with this game. It's one of those things, obviously we don't know exactly what goes in completely to the average ratings, but it sounds like Mercer should be getting man of the match all day in this game.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't. He might get an 8 and someone else, or there might be 2 people with a 9 and they give man of the match to the other one. Doesn't sound like the defence having an amazing game for Norwich based on how many shots they're allowing Fowler to have. But no. I wouldn't put it past one of their players getting a 9. Or even Biscan getting a 9, and it will turn out at the end he's won like 7 key headers, had no shots and completed no passes, and he still gets man of the match just for winning loads of key headers or something. So that's more than possible as well. But I think that is one of the perks of having Biscan. His jumping and heading stats are so good. So whether he's defence or midfield, he wins a lot of headers, and that obviously is a factor towards bonus points. So yeah, he's good for that.
Definitely. Question in the chat: do we know when Dion Dublin's back? So I think is it somewhere around game week 3? He might be orange flagged for next week. I don't think
he's back because the game week 2 in our sim I think is a midweek.
Yeah, you're right. It's on the Wednesday, isn't it? So yeah, so probably game week 3 for Dublin. If selected, of course.
We don't know how long Balaban's out for. Probably means Vassell is pretty much guaranteed to start game week 2 because they haven't got anyone else to play up front from memory. I don't think Villa. So I think Vassell's a lot to play with Angel in that Arsenal away game now, game week 2. They may pull off a Norwich level performance, but it's going to be a similar thing for Villa at Arsenal, isn't it? Probably 3-4 shots and see what happens.
I suppose if you're free hitting in game week 2, he's not a bad one to have on your bench, is he? Because if you're going to want to go Ruud and Varane against Coventry, for example, someone like Vassell on your bench when he's going to play is, I guess, all right.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Or one of these Norwich defenders now. If Dyche is playing, he's 4 million. He's another one that they've got a home game, haven't they? Game week 2, Norwich. So he's another one that you can just throw on the second or third sub. Seems like they've got a little bit of determination about them. I don't know if that really works week to week. They're obviously being fairly resilient in this game, aren't they? But next week they might concede 6 shots and let 4 in.
So Andy Martin in the chat. Liverpool v Sunderland is Tuesday in the game, with the other matches on Wednesday. So so Sunderland, Liverpool are only going to get a few days rest. Everyone else gets an extra day.
So even if Balaban's got a fairly minor injury, he could have to be back ready in 4 days.
Yeah,
I'm guessing the Villa game on here is a Saturday. So some of these games, there was one game on a Monday, wasn't there here? And I think 2 of these games were played on the Sunday. That we obviously view them all at once as if it's all played at the same time, and that's not actually how it happens in the game. I think it's 7 Saturday games, 2 Sunday and a Monday from memory. So I can't remember what the Monday game was from. Maybe Captain can share us that. But I'm assuming the Villa one was one of the Saturday ones, which means Balaban, I don't know what the most minor injury is, but there'll be something that might... a concussion can be like 3 weeks on this game, can't it?
Yeah, it could. I don't know I can't remember what the minor ones are. Something like a bruised head or something like that. Bruised head.
Yeah, whatever it is, he's going to do well to be back. There are some with the comment a few days. So if Balaban's got one of those, and there's every chance he could be orange flagged in a high enough condition to play on the Wednesday, isn't it? It's not impossible.
No, it's not.
That's what you want. If you own Balaban and you see him at like 82% orange flagged, you'll probably play the next game. Even if it still says a few days injured with whatever he's got. So the game's not really realistic with injuries. You can have a bruised head and be out for 3 days, and a gash on your leg and be out for a fortnight. So,
it's a serious injury, mate. It's a serious injury. Well, I'm going to leave you with the chat before the second half kicks off, and then you can do the same to me for a minute if you need.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm good. I've only drunk half a glass of gin, so we'll look at the chat. Nicholas Singh saying this game week's a shambles so far. I don't know. It's not really that bad. If you didn't play last year, you'll get plenty worse than this. This isn't a bad one by any stretch of the imagination. Andy, thanks for confirming all these games on a Saturday. So, yeah, all the injuries, you probably will have 4 days if your injured player, if he's got a minor injury, could be back for the second game. So it won't matter for Leeds. Obviously, they've got a blank anyway. But for Villa, away to Arsenal, there's a chance they could make it, depending on the severity of the injury. Teach Mode, nice to see you, mate. Hope we're doing a good job filling in for you. First goal scorer in the second half. I'll go outrageous and go a Man City goal. I'll go for Jermaine Wright, first goal of the second half, as a random guess. George's gone for Kevin Campbell. Probably a decent shout, isn't it, going for Everton? Probably should have considered that just now before I guess, but it could be Kevin Campbell. Ben Graham, how quickly do the points get updated on Gaffer after full time? I think the plan is about 11 o'clock. So I think the game week finishes about 10:30 from memory. That'll be full time roughly about then. Or maybe it's 10:15 full time, 10:30 by the time we get through all the player ratings, etc. And I think about 11 o'clock, the Gaffer site should be updated with all the points. There's a few guys working in the background that have to do a few things after the final whistle to update everything. I think I heard Panda sound the spaces earlier on that was going to be at 11 o'clock. Craig must be a salesman seeing that suit on camera. Nah, not a salesman. This is a professional look. This is a professional podcast. We try our best to be professional on here. So got to live up to the, obviously professional with the baseball cap to go with the shirt and tie.
I saw someone earlier. It's earlier in the chat, and then it went by. Said you got some nerve saying that Pedersen looks like an estate agent.
Yeah, I'll wear it again next week. Maybe I'll put a different tie on. This, I don't know if you can see the colour properly. This is my sort of Claret Aston Villa tie. So
you're in the director's box.
I'll get a bright yellow tie next week for Helgeson's sake. I should have done that. We're underway in the second half, though. We've got for all
off we go then. Here comes the Boxic hat trick, the Larson hat trick.
Someone's just commented they're loving the magic mixers behind Craig. Yeah, this is obviously my conservatory, and a lot of my daughter's junk gets stored out here in the IKEA flat pack box behind us. Christmas has obviously just been, so that's our version of tidying up. It all gets dumped on the shelf behind us. So you may see a few kids' toys. It looks like some sort of Aladdin item at the back as well. So Martin's a bit more professional in that sense. He didn't dress for the occasion, but he at least made his background nice. I put the clothes on and did nothing to my background. So we'll get it right between us one day.
That's a good mix, isn't it? It's a good mix. We're trying to cater for everybody here. Come on, where's this Larson goal in?
I missed it. I wasn't really looking at the screen just then. Have we had any comments about team mentality or anything in the first minute there?
It said Liverpool were going for it. I saw that.
Okay.
Boateng. So we haven't seen Villa attack yet, really, have we? Angel.
No, I think
Vassell 6-yard box. Goal, Angel.
That's so unrealistic. Darius Vassell could not put an accurate cross in for Aston Villa. That was not his game in the slightest. This game's very unrealistic.
He's not only put an accurate cross in, he's done it while he's in the 6-yard box. What a player. What a player. But there you go, Angel. So that's a good goal for free hit game week 2 players, isn't it?
Yeah, that may have been. I can imagine something like Viduka, Boxic, and Angel would have been a fairly common strike force for people on that strategy. I would think. I can see that being a popular front three. Those 3 teams have got good game week 3 fixtures as well, haven't they? And they're the sort of main striker for those 3 clubs. So yeah, I can completely see that strike force being popular. Obviously, it's nice for those players to get some return after the Viduka news. So we won't go. We won't chastise them too much for getting an attacking return. But we got one between us yet, an attacking return. I don't think I have.
No, I haven't got one. I got clean sheets for days, but no attacking returns. Unsworth is Everton against the 9 men. Given
he found himself with plenty of time, so he went for a half volley.
They love a half volley in this game. They're all going for goal of the month.
You've got loads of time. You take 2 or 3 touches, assess your options. Let you maybe lay it out wide, put a cross in. Not David Unsworth.
Did you used to get like a 50 grand bonus for goal of the month, like back in these days or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I've got loads of time. I'll go for a half volley like that. I don't know how it obviously works in the back end of this game with the commentary, how they decide what they got to write. It's obviously on some sort of algorithm, isn't it? How it all works.
Yeah.
Just throws any sort of randomness out there.
What's the best type of goal? Half volley and off the bar? You struggle to beat that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you probably would. Tony Yeboah type goal from back in the day, is it? One of those 2
Oh, yeah, those Tony Yeboah goals. Incredible.
Oh, who's going off for Ipswich? Oh, it's Pablo gone off.
Armstrong for Pablo. I probably would have expected Armstrong to start ahead of Pablo anyway.
Yeah, anyone that's looking at that and thinking Pablo's first, I think he's 5 million, Pablo, but he's in no way now, is he, despite starting this week. So I wouldn't get too, if they're at home game week 2, aren't they, Ipswich? So anyone thinking, especially those Rooney owners that might suddenly have realised now they shouldn't have him, they might look at this and think, oh, Pablo started game week 1, he's 5 million. That's obviously finding that 0.5 is achievable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, he's probably, he's more likely to play than Rooney is, I'll give you that, but he's not in any way nailed, is he?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. He's a good player. I quite like playing with Ipswich on the game, and I always tend to keep Pablo. I like having him around. He's good squad player.
Bit of substitution.
Murphy replacing Alan Wright. Vassell wide from Vassell. Vassell in the action.
Talking about this with Luke earlier on the Discord, because I wasn't sure if Murphy would start. He's a 4 million left back that just signed from Middlesbrough, David Murphy. So I wasn't sure if he'd get enough of a player rep bump to overtake Alan Wright for first choice. And he still may well do. Obviously, it's only game week 1. Murphy may play next week. And Luke was saying every stat in the editor for the game is 0 for him.
Okay.
So you're never quite sure which one you're going to get, are you?
Could be anything, yeah.
I don't think his stats were particularly amazing, but they weren't awful either.
Phillips through on goal here. Clean sheet. Oh, Robinson.
I wouldn't mind that, to be fair.
Personally
selfish, I wouldn't mind the Sunderland goal.
No, that's fine by me.
Anyone that went Rio or something like that can have that clean sheet wiped out. Hopefully they concede, then Ian Hart comes on for the last 10 minutes as well. And that's a 0 pointer for captain, isn't it? if Leeds concede and Hart gets 10 minutes.
Yeah. Bartes fists the ball. We can't catch it, can he? So that's probably not a bad idea. Yes, Richie in the chat, FPL Richie in the chat. I got COVID last week. That was kinder than tonight's ChampMan. Oh, come on, Richie. It's not that bad, surely.
Charlie Miller's just gone off to be replaced by by Jonathan Greening, and then there was a second one that through Romo came on for someone. I don't know what team that is. Is that Coventry or Bradford? Oh, it's Leonardson for Bradford that's gone off. So Romo on for Bradford. Don't know much about David Romo.
Romo replaced Leonardson. I've seen him pop up in some of my sims. I don't know if he's necessarily good, but I've definitely seen his name.
Christie, against 9 men, why are you resorted to shooting from long range to try and score against Newcastle?
Maybe Given was asleep.
Desperate measures from Everton.
Pennant chance for Arsenal here. Driven in low by Cole.
Not quite sure how those two have linked up. A right midfielder and a left back linking up there well together.
I think we're learning not to question it too much, aren't we, already? We're 51 minutes in, and this commentary is like, what? I'd love to see these games.
Maybe Andy Martin can fill us in because he was watching that game apparently. So I'm interested to see how Ashley Cole and Jermaine Pennant have linked up there.
We'll have to get some pre-match from Andy Martin, definitely.
The Smith's 1986 in the chat saying Pennant at 4.5 is interesting. I wouldn't recommend getting him in. We've mentioned it a few times on this stream already that formations and teams are a bit up in the air the first couple of weeks.
Oh, goal for Johnson. That's Sereni's clean sheet gone.
And not a lot of save points either, by the looks of things.
No.
So it could be a 2-pointer for him, unfortunately. Here comes a Liverpool change. It's 3 strikers on the bench, but they've changed their midfielder, which is interesting. Rubins, don't know where he plays. Jackson was a defender. Can't say much about those 2 Norwich substitutes. I don't think anyone really cares, to be honest. Ain't going to impact anyone too much.
Is Abby again? Oh my God! A brace for
Abby. Team of the week, highest scoring player, Zima Abby. Double figure return at Anfield. He might be the only player to get that, an away player all season to get that. I've got to keep my eye on that across these streams. If anyone's going to get 10 or more points as an away player at Anfield, Van Nistelooy probably won't even do that. And
wow,
that is outrageous.
Did it? Yeah, it's just ticked on. I was going to say we didn't miss that it didn't count. Yeah, it's just ticked on. It's just ticked on. Zima Abby brace. Oh, that's crazy.
I still won't recommend getting him in next week, though. Would you?
No, not at all. Not at all. Wow. So, I mean, maybe some people have been saved there with the leak. I mean, I certainly have been. I was double Liverpool defence before the leak.
Janssen with a header, good save from Westerveld against his former club. Here comes an Arsenal change. There we go.
Oh, here's Graham. Here's Graham Barrett. Solano. Why is Solano the target?
Why is Campbell always marking the wrong people? We've got Crouch in there, and Campbell's always marking someone inappropriate. Michael Smith, he's going to struggle to get 20 points at this rate. I think quite a few people are going to be in that boat. So I don't think too many people have got too many attacking returns here. So I don't think he's going to be a big score. It's not going to be like an 80-pointer, is it, here? I don't think.
No.
And I think we do know on this game from season 1 that it's more than possible with the right players, week after week, you can get 20, 25 points of bonus. So you've obviously got that to add on. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past, say, certain players that don't look like they're doing very much, still getting quite high bonus points, despite it looking like they've done nothing.
Yeah.
Like Henry could still get max bonus here. I don't think he will, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did, despite the fact I don't think we've seen his name on the screen once in 54 minutes yet, Henry. Striker change for Coventry, Jay Bothroyd.
Mode in the chat, people going Viduka over Abbey were always going to be punished.
One of those tweets, is it? Own your own decisions, one of those tweets. Tarico had a long range shot. Oh, he's involved though, Tarico. It's promising, isn't it?
Yeah, he's definitely very much involved. You expect him
there we go.
to be involved. I'd like him to actually do something. There you go. Wait.
Got off injured. Gary Breen on, so David Prutton into midfield, I would assume then. Breen into defence with Bramble and Hariderson. Probably Ipswich are probably actually better off now than what they were before, as daft as that sounds. Yeah. Breen's a much better defender than Prutton.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Breen looks good, definitely. Naismith, Everton on the attack against the 9 men. Christie, is that another brace? No, given.
They should have men over in the box, shouldn't they, from set pieces? Can they mark them all?
Yeah. Yes.
Wouldn't leave Christie unmarked, though. If I was going to leave one, I'd probably try and leave, I don't know, Jason McAteer or something. Preston in the chat. Go on, Breen. Shame for him is now he's probably only going to get 1 point because you can't really expect him to score, and he's not going to play enough minutes to qualify for anything else. So
no,
he's only going to get a 1 point. So I don't know. He's blocked off your bench, but may not be a good thing. Green coming on for managers that started him this week. David H reckons Zema Rabi's on Twitter. Maybe he can be another person to attract.
Maybe, yeah, we can get him involved. Definitely.
Pep talk, Redknapp season over after 55 minutes. I don't think he was bad for getting long-term injuries, Redknapp. He's injury prone for a load of short-term stuff.
He'll be in and out, I think. Yeah, I think that's right.
Going home to Louise, probably was about this time.
It's good news for all those people that had Berkovic. I saw a lot of people with Berkovic, so he could come out of the cold and play the next game maybe if Redknapp's injured. They got Fotheringham in the mix as well.
Teach Redknapp going home to Louise, probably naked in that era, wasn't it? That was about this time that song came out, wasn't it?
Norwich aren't going to score again, are they? Abbey hat-trick. McCann.
Oh my God. Is there?
Oh my God.
That's the easiest chance of the 3 he's had, and he's missed it.
I thought he was going to do that then. Absolutely no good for our sim data preview if Norwich batter Liverpool. But
you did get odd anomalies. I don't know if you had a two. Yeah. Did you have a Norwich win? I can't remember.
I think there was maybe one. There was a couple where Mercer had man of the match, definitely. Drama at Ellen Road. Come on, Henrik. Oh, well, we're not bothered.
Oh, Harry Kewell.
He's gone. He's already walking. Oh, Kewell's gone. Libra's okay. So that's a straight red. So that's a 3-match suspension for Harry Kewell.
Central midfield, basic substitute, McCann for Medina. So that's man-for-man swap, isn't it? Central midfield. Interesting what Leeds do now, then, because they've still got 3. They didn't make a substitute, did they? So they've still got Greening. He only just came on Greening not too long ago for Charlie Miller.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was an injury there. It certainly didn't say there was an injury. He's just gone off again.
He's been hooked. He wasn't doing enough.
That's quite harsh. He's only played about 10 minutes. I think he came on.
Not good enough. He was obviously given instructions that he wasn't following. So, captain's just told us, he was hooked. Greening's been hooked after 10.
2-0 up, coasting to a victory over Bradford. They give a guy a second. Must be Pep Guardiola as manager, not following instructions. That's harsh. Parnaby, I think, is naturally a right back, but from memory, I think he does play central as well as defender or midfielder. So a long way short of what a central midfielder is, but clearly the manager thinks he's better in there than 10 minutes of Jonathan Greening. 7 minutes apparently he was on for.
7 minutes, 7 minutes he had. So Leeds down for 10. I think they'll probably still be going for the win. We didn't see.
What do you reckon they've done formation wise? Because they were sort of 3-5-2. Sorry, they were 3-4-1-2, weren't they?
Yeah.
They've lost the centre mid, but they haven't made a substitute. Will Keane just drop back a bit deeper? Does he play?
Yeah,
he play central midfield, can he?
No, you wouldn't think so because he's a forward playing in AMC, isn't he? So I'm not quite sure.
Does he move? I would have thought the core or Batty would have come on and they would have taken. No, in this game they probably would have taken that Johnson off who just came on and then played Keane behind Larson. Here comes an Arsenal change.
Arsenal, Basadas replaced by Lundberg. So Henry is still out there for you Henry owners.
Interesting what Arsenal do. We won't know obviously, but Lundberg can play central, right or left. So can Perez. I think Perez started left. Basadas plays in the middle, but it could easily be Lundberg on the left, Perez in the middle. But equally, Lundberg could have just replaced Basadas in the middle. So it doesn't make a lot of difference. But you'd rather have the winger, wouldn't you? So we might find out in a minute from some of the attacking phases of play in that game. If maybe we could ask Andy Martin again as he's watching it. That's going to keep coming up in this stream, isn't it? He's going to regret saying that. We've got all this information we need of him.
So we're nearly at the 60-minute mark for the troll defenders with a clean sheet being hooked.
Do we get half a clean sheet in this game like Gaffer? Or
no, I don't think so. No, I think the only thing we've taken from Gaffer is the vice captain and emergency captain, I believe.
Yeah, Leeds. You had this down as a low-scoring game. I don't think you had it down as a low-scoring game though because of an anticipated red card.
No, it was because Sunderland was set up defensively. So yeah, Leeds a lot of sort of 2-0s for Leeds.
I know you made it clear that obviously that's just that you could run the sims 20 more times and the goal average would increase. And I think a few people on Discord that shared their own sim data had Leeds a lot higher than you did, which is why I thought Viduka would probably still be the best captain. I think a lot of them had Newcastle averaging sort of 2.3, 2.4, something like that. But where you was like 1.4 from memory, I think it was really low.
Yeah, but lots of shots. There were lots in mine where you could see they'd had lots of shots, but just not done it. So yeah,
I've not seen a lot of that really either, have we? It's not like they've been peppering Sullivan. He's made 2 or 3 saves from memory, but he's not been, well, certainly not as busy as Mercer. But talk of Leeds, here they come.
Out to McPhail, another half volley. I want to go out and hit some half volleys. I don't
want to do that. Might not be hitting the corner flag. I'm purely a central defender, and that's one of the reasons why my inability to hit a half volley is absolutely useless. There's a reason why I play centre back.
Andrew, share it in the chat. Does your emergency captain sub in for your vice if they don't play? Yes, they do.
John Shanley, can someone do something? I mean, anyone. Well, Harry Coole's just done something. I don't know what else he expects. I'm not quite sure that's what he had in mind. But we just missed go through. There's a substitution for Everton.
Yeah, so that was Campbell's been replaced by Keratos.
Just managed to make it through 60 minutes, I think. Kevin Campbell, which is just qualified for the 2 points.
Looks like just about.
FPL Sky Blues wants to play headers and volleys.
Yeah, it's making me want to do that, all these half volleys. I want to go out and just drop some balls in front of me and just hit them.
We'll invite Billy Mercer over. He can go and goal and us two have some shots.
I don't think I ever scored a half volley. I didn't score many goals in my time, but I don't think I ever scored a half volley.
No, Aaron Legor, I don't think Boxic has been mentioned yet at all. I've got Boxic and Henry. I don't think either of them have been mentioned in 62 minutes so far.
No, I mean, it's getting to that point where I'm expecting Boxic to get the heave-ho. I was hoping he'd have done something.
I don't know what's more annoying, not seeing your player's name come up and effectively, and for that reason, they're not doing anything. Or having Robbie Fowler, for example, whose name pops up 3 or 4 times. Well, that was a bit sudden. Ramon Vega's gone off injured.
Vega's off injured. Noel Williams replaces Vega. Robinson. So Helgeson's gone.
2-pointer locked in. Thank you very much, Hyder.
Well, maybe Tommy Smith can do something now. So
Noel Williams, he had quite a good record off the bench, didn't he, last season for goals?
He did have a very good record off the bench, yeah. So Hoekstra's gone off for Bradford as well. I think it's probably on a lot of people's benches this week, but
Everton still trying to play 45-yard passes to break Newcastle down. I thought Newcastle would have won with the long ball tactic. But
they've got to score another goal, surely. There we go.
Double. The cheap striker night, isn't it? 6 million Christie or 6.5 million Christie with 2. Abbey, what's the 5.5 million, something like that, 2 goals.
Look out for him in the next England squad.
Happens quite a lot, doesn't it, on this game, Christie?
Yeah, he plays for England, yeah. Keratos assist just off the bench, as you said, yeah. Villa on the attack. Villa have been quite quiet.
He's one of the ones, I think you can probably point at 10, 15 players I think we would argue are underpriced, even if it's only by like 0.5 million. There are some players that do genuinely look a bit cheap. There's obviously reasons for it. Go on, Henry. Here's your chance, son.
Difficult chance there, I bet it was.
Christie was one of those on first viewing of prices that did look cheap. It was more expensive at Derby, and Everton are better than Derby, right?
Yeah, definitely. It sort of made you question whether the guys were seeing him play minutes, but as a new signing, you'd think he would.
I think all the same. It can only be that reason, I think.
Tommy Smith.
It can only be that reason that in the test sims they ran, the strikers were all up in the air, so they priced them all the same. A bit like they did with Sturridge and Benjamin at Leicester as well.
Yeah. Is Smith again? Oh, fuck off, Edmund, will you?
Has he conceded as well? No. Because Sereni v Headman was the big 50-50 call, wasn't it, for game 1? We obviously both went Sereni, who's conceded with no saves. and Headman's going to get clean sheet and saves possibly. It could be about 7-point swing between those two keepers in game week 1.
It could be, yeah. I just didn't, I didn't mind the Headman call, but I was sat, I wanted a Watford forward, and I thought, I don't want. Oh, there we go. There's another goal.
Is that Nedved?
Roy Keane loves the derby. United 2 to the good.
Nedved was involved. His name definitely flashed up. Maybe he got the assist.
Pulled Tiato off and one chop off. So Man City have given up.
Well, no, it's a 4-4-2 still, isn't it? I think that Hopkins plays left wing, so he'll just go left wing. And Burton up front with Huckabee. Huckabee must have been playing better than one job.
Well, I guess so. But I mean, you'd probably want one chop on the pitch.
Yeah, that's why.
Nedved assist. Yeah.
And fullback, McQuilkin getting forward. Man United clean sheet wipeout coming, is it? With Jermaine Wright.
I could do without that. Ooh, 20.
Jermaine Wright. I called it at half time, Martin. We went for a piss. Someone said who's going to score the first goal of the second half, and I called Jermaine Wright. Obviously, that's not the first goal of the second half, but he was earmarked, wasn't he? Oh, John Terry, what's he done? Oh, it's a fortunate yellow
card. Right, no clean sheets for anybody now.
He's one of those players, isn't he, Jermaine Wright? That's got a knack of scoring. Good save, Serene. Have a couple more of them, please.
Yeah, a few more of them.
Carboni corner. Good Johnson with 2 chances in a minute. Oh, he scored the second one.
There we go. 2 headers from Good Johnson.
Carboni assist. Benefits of a set piece taker there. You never know. Carboni this time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's one to watch, Jermaine Wright, I think, for 6 million. If you got him, it's a funny price bracket. I think a few people have got Lee Hendry in that price bracket, but it's not. A lot of people have got 3 sort of really cheap ones and 2 more expensive ones. I don't think his ownership's probably fairly minimal, I think, at that middle price midfielder. I think if you are in that bracket for someone and considering someone as a season keeper, Jermaine Wright's probably one of the better ones. So I think he'll play the majority of games. There's a standard Sunderland substitution we were expecting. Maybe didn't expect Jermaine Wright to score against Man United, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the midfielders that got to like 10 goals at the end of the season. It could happen with him.
Yeah.
And his Ceratos, game's changed. Come on, Everton looking a bit better.
I mean, Newcastle are done for now. I think this is good. It feels like this is going to be a low-scoring opening week, doesn't it? But I mean, lots of people are going to be in the same boat, so don't worry about it.
There's no standout. Like anyone that's captained Ricard will probably have gained an edge. I think he's the only one that someone might have captained who's done something here.
Yeah.
There'll be a few scattered around players that have got some ownership. I would think they've returned something. But in terms of captain,
there's still, we're speaking prematurely. There's still 22 minutes left in this week yet. But
we're prone to a 90-minute Van Nistelooy goal, aren't we? That's well known from previous seasons. So yeah, that's still to come. Solano out on the left wing.
Diving header from Tugai. Oh, that would look fantastic, wouldn't it? With his hair flying everywhere.
John Curtis jumping above the new guy, Chilvers. That seems like strangely the game of the day, that Blackburn. It's probably the one that's had the most flash-up commentaries, I would say. Oh, well, maybe Liverpool and Norwich. It's died down, though. You think Liverpool will be attacking Norwich at 2-1 down, but seems to have gone quiet. So they've got 3 strikers sat on the bench. They ain't brought one on yet. Maybe they'll risk Michael Owen for the last 15 minutes. I don't know what quite his condition was in. No,
well, yeah. If he's on the bench, then I'm not sure they'll even consider it. If he's on the bench, then maybe they'll do it. Noel Williams, super sub from last season.
Well, still Helgeson's points. You know you're going to do it.
Ooh, he did it a lot. He did it a lot last season when I held Helgeson for a period. Noel Williams would come on and steal his points.
I think that's the biggest goal for my rank at the minute. Because Headman's very highly owned, and I think he's on for about a 9-pointer here. He could be the Escalante of this year, couldn't he, Headman, based on this? I know it's only one game. We can't read too much into it, but one of these cheap keepers is going to have a decent blend. Yes! A captain return. That's big, isn't it, this week? A captain return.
That's a big goal. Yeah, cool. I'm happier now. I was getting nervous.
Yeah, but I might even make the top 200 now after that. That's a big goal. Benjamin for Elliott. So Leicester have brought a striker on for a defender. Not quite sure what's happened there. Seems
Who
a
knows?
slightly strange one. Did you see that Zepeda went off there as well for Steve Finnan? So anyone that's got Zepeda, quite a game for him. 3 goals, no assists. Quite unusual for him, isn't it? To not be involved in 3 goals.
Yeah, it is. We'll see if he can keep up his heroics of last season. Sherwood replace Wally.
That's not going to change the game. I don't know why they've done that.
Change. That's a like for like, that one, isn't it?
Bring on a worse player for a better one. Might be good news. I don't know if Gardner will be on set pieces maybe now for the last 20 minutes. Might be something for Gardner owners, because Wally was their main set piece taker, but he's now gone off.
Shearer booked there. More pain.
Getting worse for Shearer owners. Is Perez again involved?
Try to volley. Of course he does.
Would have gone for the half volley, would have scored. Go on, Henry. Go on.
Oh,
yes!
goal.
Minutes of our 2 strikers. Yeah.
Cool. That's a big couple of minutes for you.
Well, nice after Helgeson went off. So, yeah, that's...
Henry, no assist.
It was a big call to whether to go for Viduka and captain this week and then transfer in Henry for him next week, or just start with Henry this week and save myself the -4. It would have been a hit to make that transfer next week, probably. And I thought I'll just save the goal there. Is that Simon Davis? Chelsea clean sheet.
Chelsea clean sheet gone. Nobody getting a clean sheet.
There will be some people that went with Terry to start, even though he had the blank in game week 2. It didn't seem like a sensible decision. I didn't think to start with a Chelsea defender. From like game week 5 onwards, I'm all over Chelsea, maybe even 2 of them. But first 4 weeks, it didn't seem like a sensible move. And definitely doesn't look like it now they've conceded.
I think this is
played Henry as vice captain, Martin, as well. I've just realised, which is even better. Oh, he's in again, Henry.
I was going to say he's going to score again there. He's going to score again. Come on, Henrik. Come on, Henrik.
Decent start. Returns for a captain and a vice. Big fan of that.
This is all these clean sheets gone. As we touched on before, this is a big 20 minutes or so for Headman owners, isn't it? It's definitely
the only big clean sheet left, really, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe a Leeds defender.
And Middlesbrough. I think most people have got 1 Middlesbrough, haven't they? Or a lot of people.
Goals are flying in this. John
Eustace, unmarked.
Another one to maybe monitor for a cheap midfield. I think he's on penalties for Coventry. I'm guessing he's fairly nailed as well in centre midfield. So Everton finally going for it. Let's see, they're going to put GX at centre back, are they? Can play there. He plays everywhere, doesn't he?
Here comes Super Kev. Robinson save.
So yeah, it's not anyone with double Middlesbrough, anyone who went double Middlesbrough defence and one of the strikers is having a good night, aren't they? At the moment. Yeah. Especially if they decide to put a captain on one of the whatever Middlesbrough striker they went for. That's good. So yeah, Headman is big at the minute.
There's going to be some people out there with free hit game week 2 that have got Angel and double Borough defence probably.
Yeah, so I think it would have been popular, Angel, Viduka and a Middlesbrough striker with double Middlesbrough defence. So yeah, that anyone on that team, I know Viduka's probably would have been the captain and he's gone off injured for not a lot. But yeah, good news. Ben Graham just mentioned, I forgot to mention that Alan Stubbs has gone off for GX. Those clean sheet points are locked in now.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, obviously, defenders sub now have got the clean sheet locked in. So
yeah, 6 point. And maybe I'm assuming not bonus because I would assume he's gone off over the other 2 defenders because he had the lowest average rating, which would make me think he's probably not going to get bonus. But still 6 point return for Stubbs this week's not bad. What is he, 4.5?
Rickard again. Rickard hits the bar. I'm surprised Boxic has lasted this long, but it's good news.
I don't think he's too bad when he plays. The worry for him this year is because they're in Europe, they'll play a lot more midweek games than what they did last year. Obviously, his natural fitness is the problem. It takes him a long time to get back up to a 90% condition, doesn't it? And if he's playing more often, twice a week, he's constantly going to be playing in the 80s, I would think. I certainly wouldn't recommend having him long term. I've got him for the first 4 weeks because I thought he'd probably cope through that. But when we get through the first 4 weeks, if you've got to be on that wild card game week 5 strategy, for example, and you want a Middlesbrough striker, I don't think you will because their fixtures 5 to 8, I think the worst of everyone. So I don't think you'll go into that run of games with a Borough striker. But if you're going for a Borough striker beyond game week 4, I think you have you go for Rickard just because he's so much more likely to play.
Yeah. Is a Watford? Is it? Oh, I thought we might have a Watford attack there, but Coventry have picked it up.
John Eustace again. Oh.
on the volley.
Just a shame Gareth Wally's gone off. We need a Wally on the volley, don't we?
Yeah.
That's one we can have. Someone can have that on a future week. It might not be us, but we don't know the sort of moving forward plan for these streams, do we? I think us two are doing it again next week for what's the word? Continuity? Is that the word?
Continuity.
That's the word. Yeah, we'll go with. So I think us two are staying on next week for that. But after that, I'm not sure who it's going to be. So put that one in your back pocket. Whoever's doing it for Wally on the volley. You have that one. Into the last 15 minutes, business end of the game. I do think I'm going to predict we'll still get 5 or 6 more goals yet, is my prediction.
Yeah, often happens that way. Robinson sliced into Hughes, free kick, Coventry.
Not even a yellow, is it? Oh, he changed it. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, Robinson red, professional foul.
Oh, he just came on for Ramon Vega. He wasn't on that long either.
That's very good news for Headman owners.
Yeah, 30 minutes. There you go. No change.
Easily.
Watford playing 3 at the back now? 1 centre back? Surely not. I don't think. Do any of their midfielders play in defence? I'm not sure they do.
It's Vanatza and Johnson in centre midfield, isn't it? So Gravison.
He's central midfield, but has he got the ability to play centre? I don't know.
Vanatza definitely not. He's more of a attacking.
So it could be whoever's playing right centre forward for Coventry at the minute could be a big chance of a goal here if they've not changed the formation. We can't see. Standing in the penalty box by themselves. It's not great news either for Headman clean sheet wipeout, is it? That
no. So yeah, Tommy Smith goal and Headman clean sheet wipeout. Probably not looking good.
Yeah, I think that's locked in. I think he's going to get save points and he may get some bonus as well, Headman. I think he could get 9-10 pointer here.
Chance for O'Brien. Bit of a punty pick.
Yeah, people went for him. It was worth the risk, I think. There were more nailed 4.5 mids, but the leap that Janssen was up front you was basically relying on them playing this formation if it was going to work, because if it would have been the 4-2-4, he wouldn't have been in that team, I don't think. But maybe he would play centre midfield because David Dunn was obviously left, isn't he? They need someone to replace him in that sort of general central midfield role. Maybe it will be Burton O'Brien.
Could be. I mean, it'll be a bargain if he plays regularly, won't he? But especially if he's going to play AMC, even if he just plays AMC in these home games, he's probably worth having around. Bench him for the away game.
Position. If they play in a different formation, he won't even get on, will he? Because he doesn't fit into the other formation. Here's Sabon.
Cool, Robinson.
Sunderland pinched this.
Robinson's played well, hasn't he? He's made a few saves. Teal Eason.
Yeah,
another save, Robinson.
Yeah, he's up there behind Mercer, isn't he? I can't believe Liverpool have barely had anything for about 25 minutes here, it feels like.
No.
1 down.
It's typical. I suppose you always get one, don't you? Maybe this is going to be the one result of the week.
Good one from FPL Cobbler. Green sheet wipeout. He's gone for.
Very good.
I haven't seen Coleman in the chat, and I don't know if he's playing this year. That was his area of expertise, wasn't it, last year?
Yes.
I don't know if he's playing again, but we'll happily have a replacement for Coleman in the chat if anyone's good with the puns. I'll try my best. I can be good sometimes. So I'll have the Wally volley. That's my contribution to the evening. Someone else can think of some other ones.
Baby, songs.
Dronach going about as well as you can imagine. If he's in the top 1,000, he's having a good night, Dronach, to be fair.
Yeah. I can't remember what he settled on. I know he likes Gerrard for week 1, but that's not gone well. Fowler, I think he had as well. Well, still 10 minutes. We saw it last season, didn't we? Like, players can literally score a brace in the last minute.
Elliot Landon put in the chat, why is Martin not in goal? Robinson could be a cheap option into Leeds defence. I think Robinson's more expensive than Martin, isn't he? I think Martin played season 1, Robinson season 2, I think. So I think we always expected Robinson to be first choice, I think, didn't we, for season 3?
I think so. But then Nigel Martyn goes and plays in goal for England, doesn't he? Even though he doesn't play for Leeds.
Him and Richard Wright, is it in the England squad? Is it?
Yeah. Oh, you got to love it. Yeah, big news. No points for Van Nistelooy or Veron. Yeah, nothing yet. So yeah, the double up. But I mean, that double up next week could easily go mad, couldn't it? So, I mean, yeah, it's only game week 1.
I think Benno shares some basic stats on next week for that Man United game. I think he had Van Nistelrooy scoring like 19 in 20 or something.
Yeah.
And Veron was on about 15 returns in 20 as well. And I think there was one 6-0 in there and a few other high scoring win to nils. Headman owners might not be so happy next week, might they, with that game?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Like say, it's only week 1. It's nice to have a good start, of course, but yeah, early days.
I think that was a risk with Headman. You knew you was getting 3 quite reasonable games either side of the Man United away game, and you have to obviously just suck it up that week and hope that you got enough save points to wipe out how many goals you conceded. And if you got away with a positive goalkeeper score that week, you'd probably be quite happy. I think.
Yeah.
It could be 5-0, but if he gets enough saves. But I say if you could have said now he's going to get 8-9 points tonight and he'll get 1 next week, I think he would have taken 10 points on the first 2 games for Headman. If that's how it developed.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. Another save for Serini there. I think he might be on 4 or 5 saves now, so it's not the end of the world. Conceded twice though.
We've got Nihal in the chat. Ruud van Nistelooy. I don't mind that. I don't know if he's missed a lot, to be fair. I've only seen his name come up that one time when it felt like we got trolled. I think that was the only time I really remember seeing him have a chance.
Yeah.
Maybe that Man City offside traps keeping him quiet.
Colm was off in a taxi after Cobbler's Prutton dressed as lamb pun.
I missed that one. I didn't see that one.
Don't let heart rule your head.
Decent late saves here from Serini. I know he's let 2 in, but we might nick some save points. Somehow Chelsea are winning 2-1 and getting slightly more attacking based on the information, which is didn't do nothing for an hour, and then now they're winning. They're deciding to attack. Interesting.
I still fancy. I know they're down to 10 men. I still got a sneak for a Leeds goal.
I vaguely remember a few on your sims, a few 0-0s, more than I expected, like 4 or 5 or something in the 20 even.
Yeah, there were a few. I say Leeds having lots of shots, but yeah, their goal average was down.
James in Uganda has just kindly pointed out that I said there'd be 5 more goals about 75 minutes, and we're at 83 minutes now. There's been none.
Well, yeah, well, let's see. I mean, it could still.
I don't know anything. What am I doing on this stream? I don't know anything. Don't listen to what I say. That's where everyone went wrong last year, listening to what I say. Don't do that.
Adrian Williams. Is that AD Williams? Is that another ex-Reading there that I've missed?
I think it is, yeah. Central defender.
Yeah.
Bo Hansen on for Bolton for the last 5 for Rod Wallace. Bolton might think they can pinch this then, bringing a striker on. I think you got to fancy Liverpool to have at least 1 or 2 shots. Say Mercer's done nothing.
Yeah, I think if I had to put my head on the block for a goal,
Liverpool.
I'd like it to be Leeds, but I'd go for Liverpool.
I'll go Villa if there's going to be another goal. You think Borough will probably shut up shop now? I know it didn't say it in the comments, but you think they're going to be fairly quiet now? Maybe Ipswich. They're doing enough, aren't they, going forward? They might pinch something.
Armstrong, Ipswich coming forward again.
Who's in there? Back stick. It's Marcus Stewart again. Oh, you see.
Line and fingertips.
He's probably done enough to get some save points again. I think he's 4 or 5 saves for him. Standard, you see.
Cillian Kennedy, is Shearer alive? I mean, he's alive, but he's probably playing centre back, mate. He's got 9 men. Yeah, tricky for Newcastle.
The fact they're 2-0 down, it's not going to encourage them to throw an Olahoy on or something, is it? To try and chase the game. How the game works. Graham, no, Hart or Rufus have not come on yet, as far as I'm aware. So
don't think so. No. So Singh clean sheet is at the moment.
I don't know if Benno went with it in the end. He was very. I don't get book Dyer as well. Oh no, Naismith. But yeah, Benno was talking about getting Singh and Hart just in case this happened, and it was obviously a fair expense, 12 million to have both of them, but he was guaranteeing the one wing back.
Yeah,
I don't know if he actually went through with that plan in the end, but he was talking about it. So,
it'd be annoying though if one came on to take the points from the other, wouldn't it? Like,
on 55 minutes, they changed the wing back, so they both get 1 point.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wavy thinks a Blackburn goal's incoming. Graham's unfortunate. He still wants his Redknapp assist from his bench. It's still time that you might get a sub on that you want. Don't think this game's against making an 88th minute unnecessary sub, is it?
no, not at all. Nice of Shearer to match Viduka's output. Yeah, that's one saving grace.
He's actually got more at the minute, hasn't he? Oh no, he got booked. Yeah, one each is it at the moment for them two?
Angel in again. This could be popular. Ooh, Walker save.
Duzatelli's got Hart, Alpay, Doherty, Berkovic, Shearer and Larson captain. And unmitigated shambles. He should have learned his lesson with Doherty. He's got himself to blame for that one because he was never playing.
No.
The other ones, I think if you was going to risk Hart, you had to be a bit cleverer with your other picks to make sure you had nailed players with him. Like Alpay was never nailed, was he? Berkovic was never nailed. I think Hart was a decent punt, but you had to have at least 2 good subs, I think, to come on for him. And others, I don't think you should be punting on more than him.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've got some sympathy. He's been a bit unlucky there, but you kind of asked for it. I say Doherty especially was never playing. Killian Kennedy is Lampard playing. He is, mate. This is standard Lampard. You don't really get too much from him in this game. It's not real life Lampard, 18 goals a season, running onto things on the edge of the box on a half volley, is it?
No, definitely not. Another one is Duff playing. Duff's injured for a good 4 weeks.
4 or 5 weeks, I think. Sham, not happy in the chat. He went for Van Nistelrooy and Veron. 38 game week, Sham. I wouldn't stress about it in week 1.
Like we say, they could beat Coventry 6-0 next week, and you'll be laughing.
I can't believe there's not been 1 goal in the last thing that's happened is a 72nd minute red card to a Watford defender. This is outrageous.
Yeah, I know. We had a quiet start and a quiet finish so far. It's renowned for last minute goals, though, isn't it?
MH in the chat. There's no update to transfer prices. It's a static price game, so there'll be no price changes to any players. So don't wait for that update because there won't be one. Hugo Ekio clean sheet locked in. Ronnie Johnson on for the last 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, it would have been.
Oh, of course, they let in. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, I went for double Man United defence. Yeah,
I did kind of say it on purpose. Liverpool needs Stevie G playing. Maybe not in this game, FPL Penguin, because he's a DM, defensive midfielder. So I don't know if he'd be massively helping this Liverpool team today in that role. FPL Cobbler's asking Andy Martin if Boxit's a new Petkoff. For those that don't know, Andy Martin was a very anti-Petkoff person last season.
Yeah, that didn't go too well.
No. Oh, Vassell, late chance to win it for Villa, and he's put it wide. Not that it would have helped anyone. Mahmood saying Boxit's the new Antonio. It's probably, if you're going to compare Championship Manager players to FPL players, it's probably not the worst comparison, Boxic to Antonio, is it?
No, he'll tick along. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Henry free kick. He's at a shot. Henry with a free kick. Oh, he's at the post. Oh, that would have been a massive late goal if that would have gone in.
He was a long way out.
Don't matter against this goalkeeper though, Lambropoulos. You wouldn't trust him to save anything.
Solano. Oh, Solano used his feet this time. That's more what you'd expect.
Got fed up again. He scored.
Oh, Solano.
2-2.
Desmond.
Lauren, that's why they started Morris Volts. Couldn't trust Lauren. Manager knew, didn't he? Started Morris Volts because he couldn't trust our 2 guy. Big game for him. Goal and an assist.
Yeah, great for 2 guy.
He's only just come on, Hansen.
Hansen clicked
what
up.
Is it with these red cards?
For Hansen.
How many is that now? Robinson on for Charlton, 10 minutes, red card. Hansen on for 10 minutes for Bolton, red card. A lot of players, a lot of substitutes not finished the game here, isn't there?
Definitely. Off to White Hart Lane. Ziga, Tottenham on the attack.
Not Rebrov, surely.
Rebrov diving head of the troll of last season. Oh,
it's in, isn't it? It's in.
Oh,
oh standard Rebrov.
Get
the second biggest troll after Robbie Fowler, I think, or maybe even the biggest troll. Is he Rebrov?
Definitely. There'll be plenty of Robin reliant gifts in the Discord after that. Bo Hansen, violent conduct. I suppose.
Come on, Rico, get forward for a late goal. You're against 10 men. Yeah, still only on 4 clean sheets only. And Everton won't be the most popular. A few people might have snuck in Unsworth, but I don't think Everton defenders will be that popular. Sunderland, I don't think anyone's going to be playing their defenders. Tom's their best defender, and he's unavailable for this game. And I say most of the free hit managers probably would have risked Hart rather than someone else. I know there's probably a few like Rio, but not many are going to get that clean sheet either. Oh, here comes Man United.
First we go to Anfield.
Like one last chance for Robbie Fowler. What's he going to do with this one? Come on, Biscan. Biscan, power header.
Pardon me. The Fowler owners going to get their goal.
It's
Fowler in the area. Fowler, is this it? Oh!
just the 9 shots that he's finally scored. Oh,
there we go. Well, I said if I had to go for one more goal, it would be at Liverpool. So there it is.
He did say something was going to happen at Main Road, I think, as well. There was a message come up on the screen. We're off to Main Road, so it could be off to Main Road to watch someone take a throw in, knowing the trolling we might get in the comments. But there might be one more moment here at Man United or at Man City.
A Roque Jr. goal.
Oh, it's a goal. It is a goal in a 90th minute. It's Man United, isn't it? Yeah, it's Man United. Don't be Van Nistelooy. Don't be Van Nistelooy. It is, isn't it?
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
For on assist, Van Nistelooy to York.
Oh, Dwight. Oh,
Dwight. It's a Van Nistelooy assist for owners in the 90th minute.
Wow. Yeah, Van Nistelrooy assist. So, yeah, that's better than a slap in the face, isn't it? But
I don't know if I'm happy or not about that. It could have when Veron passed it to Van Nistelrooy. I thought, here we go.
Yeah, that's it. Van Nistelrooy goal, Veron assist.
I had Veron, but I think I'm more happier. It's daft, isn't it, that I've got Veron, and I'm actually happier that he get nothing than Van Nistelrooy scored.
Yeah. Wow, there you go.
I'm assuming that's the end of the game week. Did we get a full-time flash up? I missed it. If there was full-time,
I expect we'll get it, won't we?
It'll be full-time on the bottom, I think, of the video printer. But we've not had no messages to say anything else is happening. Oh, that is the full-time
whistle around the
ground. Man United every week, isn't it? Man United, the last goal of the game week.
Yeah, it happens a lot. But I guess they just attack so much, don't they? So that's it. Full times. Aston Villa 1, Leicester 1, Blackburn 2, Arsenal 2, Coventry 2, Watford 0, Ipswich 1, Bolton 1, Leeds 0, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 2, Norwich 2, Man City 1, Man United 3, Middlesbrough 3, Bradford 0, Newcastle 0, Everton 2, Tottenham 1, Chelsea 2, and we await the bonus points.
How do you think that stacked up against your Sims? I think you had Villa winning 2-1 maybe against Leicester from memory.
Yeah, I think that stacks up pretty well, to be fair. Arsenal looked good for a couple of goals, didn't they? Watford not scoring, a bit surprising. Liverpool, they got their couple of goals, so that's not far off. Man United looked good for the win. Middlesbrough looked good for a win to 0. Newcastle, we always said Jekyll and Hyde.
You can't trust him late when there's a red card involved, can you?
Tottenham 1, Chelsea 2 seems about right. So yeah, I mean, it's not far off, really, is it? Leeds not scoring is probably the one, isn't it?
And Watford, they did have a red card for the last 20 minutes. So yeah, big, well done, Headman owners. I think they're probably the big winners tonight. I think because the goalkeeper roulette was pretty strong. I think heading into this game week, especially Headman v Serini. And I think there's going to be a reasonable swing in that decision. So yeah, fair play if you went with Headman with that one. I say yeah, Viduka owners unlucky. We just got to wait now the next couple of days to see how that. Well, I'm sure we'll get the information on the Sunday stream. I would imagine will be the first
Yeah, so so for new players and a reminder for old players, so there'll be a stream on Sunday night for the game week 2 preview. That'll be the first place you'll see all the injury news. What the injuries are, how long people are going to be out for, and all that jazz. So Sunday night you'll get that first, and then I guess it will be tweeted out on Monday at some point.
And you'll have a sim video out at some point in the next couple of days for game week 2 as well?
Yeah, Sunday morning, game week 2 preview from the Man On channel with the sim data will be out. Sunday morning.
So I don't know when we'll record that yet. Who will be on there? You'll obviously be on there, Martin, because you're the one that's run the sims. I joined you for the game week 1 one. I don't know what's going to happen for game week 2. Whether it will be me, Thomas, and Darren, or it could be one or two, none of us. I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. We haven't agreed, have we?
No, I mean it's ready to go. I think I probably need to record it tomorrow because I'm off to what game am I off to? Weymouth against Southend. I think I'm going to on Saturday.
Lucky you.
It's definitely
one of my local teams off Southend. They're not too far from me.
No, it's definitely Southend. One of my pals is a Southend fan, and we're going to one of the coast games. I think it's Weymouth.
So we'll get that recorded tomorrow. Some of us, that'll be on the Man On Twitter channel. When it's been recorded, it'll be shared on there. And in general, if you haven't seen any of our pods together so far, they're on the Man On channel now. We did one pre-season for. We ran like 20 sims of the whole season, and there was some decent nuggets of information of what generally happened across the whole season. Obviously, what's really happened in game week 1 here shouldn't have a massive bearing on season-long predictions, should it? So that video could still be useful if you haven't seen that yet.
Definitely. Right, we've got some bonus points in, mate. So Aston Villa 1, Leicester 1, save points none, bonus points 3 for Juan Pablo Angel, 2 for Olaf Melberg, 1 for Danny Mills, 1 for Gareth Barry, 1 for Lee Hendry, 1 for Gary Taggart, and 1 for McAnuff, Joby McAnuff.
9-pointer for Angel, then, is that? I think
that's a
goal appearance and max bonus.
Angel, let's refresh it, see if we got another.
Yeah, I'll do the next one. Blackburn Arsenal's come up 2-0, 2-2, obviously full-time result. 1 save point for Lambropoulos and 2 save points for Westerveld. And unsurprisingly, max bonus to 2 guy for a goal and an assist. 2 bonus points for Nobby Solano. Obviously, whoever was giving out the awards was impressed with how well he dealt with Sol Campbell for those set pieces. And then bonus points, 1 for Lambropoulos, 1 for Weatherall, 1 for Matt Jensen, 1 for Sol Campbell, 1 for Robert Perez, 1 for Thierry Henry. So, good haul for 2 guy, double figures, I think. Goal assist, max bonus. Decent haul for 2 guy there.
Yeah, very good for 2 guy there. Next one, Coventry 2, Watford 0. So save points, Headman 1, at Matt Zedis, 2 points for saves. Bonus points, 3 for John Eustace, 2 for Mangus Headman. So a great day for Mangus Headman owners. He's got
9-pointer there, isn't it? I think
9 pointers there, 6 for the clean sheet, 1 save point, 2 bonus. We've also got 2 bonus points for Edworthy, Williams, Walker, Telfer, Hughes, Bothroyd, Vega, and Tommy Smith. Oh, I'll take that. 2 bonus points.
2 bonus points. His name came up like once in 90 minutes. What's he done to get 2 bonus points?
That's the thing. Always stick around for the bonus points because they can really make a difference at the end that you don't expect. So, yeah, suddenly that's 4 points for Tommy Smith.
Decent from Coventry as well. I think almost a full defensive bonus haul in it there.
Yeah, it's almost a clean sweep, isn't it? Yeah. What have we got? Next one, Ipswich 1, Bolton 1. Save points, 1 save point for Brannigan, 2 save points for Jaskalainen. Bonus points, 3 for Jamie Redknapp, had a stormer before he went off injured. 2 for Marcus Stewart and 2 for Jaskalainen. So Jaskalainen's done all right there. That's a 6-pointer for Jaskalainen, isn't it?
Opening game, 14 shots, 9 on target from Ipswich, 10 shots, 5 on target for Bolton. So Ipswich probably a bit hard done by there.
Yeah, definitely. You'd expect that after the red card, but obviously just couldn't stick it away.
8 corners as well. Unlucky there. Ipswich probably deserved to win that.
We've got the next one, yeah. another 7 seconds.
I'll just read. So Coventry, Watford, 15 shots. Coventry, 7 for Watford, 9 on target for Coventry as well. Big game for Coventry. Could have easily had more than 2 goals against Watford there. 9 shots on target.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Leeds Sunderland is in. So 1 save point for Robinson. Bonus points 3 for Issa, 2 for Harpal Singh. So a clean sheet and 2 bonus for Singh.
Rubbing in massively for Heart owners there, aren't they?
And 2 for Michael Dewberry as well.
Poor showing from Leeds. 4 shots, 2 on target. I know they had a player sent off, but that was midway through the second half, was it? 4 shots, 2 on target. Yeah. Pretty poor from Leeds, really, to be honest there.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, very little in the bonus. Yeah, forwards not really doing it this week, but it can happen. They'll come good, I'm sure.
Just looking at the shots on, shots off, see if anyone's done anything massively major. Henrik Larsson, 2 shots, 1 on target. Mark Viduka didn't manage a single shot in his 36 minutes before he went off injured. So yeah, not a great game for him.
Sunderland defended well. I mean, 3 bonus points for Issa. Obviously, he's done well handling them, isn't he?
Well, he's competed for 11 headers, won 7 of them, and 6 of them were key headers. That's a long way clear of anyone else. Who's he been?
Yeah,
6 key headers is a pretty big return, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Liverpool 2, Norwich 2 is in. So 3 save points for Mercer. Bonus points 3 for Emil Heskey.
Ow! That's the keeper not got it.
2 for Hegem, 2 for Vignal, 2 for Berger, 2 for Fowler, 2 for Barmby, 2 for Emblin, 2 for Sean Dyche, 2 for Zima Abbey with a brace, and 2 for Moran.
And how many bonus points for Mercer was that, Martin?
0 points. Mercer.
Kept him in the game for long stints and gets nothing. Outrageous.
Well, yes, it's harsh, isn't it? So he's got fuck all there basically.
3 saves, David Strom. Actually, he's in the chat just said 3 saves, not 3 saves, 3 save points.
3 save points, yeah. 3 save
Liverpool had 13 shots on target. But yeah, somehow the goalkeeper didn't warrant any bonus points for that. Just for Fowler and Heskey, both had 6 shots each and both had 5 on target each.
Wow, and still only
one goal each for that. But
yeah, Mercer robbed there. Man City 1, Man United 3, save points 1 for Fabian Barthez, bonus points 3 for Roque Jr. So again, didn't get his clean sheet, but 3 bonus points for Roque Jr. there, not bad. 2 bonus points, a host of players. So 2 bonus points for Jermaine Wright, Gary Flitcroft, Fabian Barthez, Juan Veron, Luke Chadwick, Roy Keane, Dwight York, and Pavel Nedved.
Very rare game for Van Nistelrooy to get no bonus.
No bonus.
He's a predator for bonus in home games, but he normally sneaks 1 or something in an away game as well, doesn't he? But
yeah,
he's obviously been kept fairly quiet in this game by Hurtado and Howie. Just have a look now. 3 shots, 1 on target. Van Nistelrooy, he's not had a massive impact on that game. Roque Jr., to be fair, hasn't done masses either. I'm not quite sure what he's done to warrant a 9 compared to Ekiog 6. He competed for a lot more headers. 10 attempted headers, 6-1 compared to 3 and 3 for Ekiog. So that's the big difference. That I'm guessing Roque Jr. is probably up against One Chop, and that was where obviously a lot of the play was decided.
Yeah, and One Chop got hooked as well, didn't he? So
just battle in this game
tells you that Roque Jr. won the battle against One Chop. Yeah, definitely. Middlesbrough 3, Bradford 0. Save points, no save points for anybody. Bonus points 3 for Atherton, 2 for Gianluca Festa, and then a few players got 1 bonus point in this game. So 1 bonus point goes to Hencho, Marinelli, Boxic, Rickard, Johnston, and Parnaby.
Everyone gets Middlesbrough centre backs, Honcho and Southgate for the bonus, and it's the right back and the left back that get all the bonus.
Yeah,
in this particular game, I know Honcho snuck 1 extra point on.
He snuck 1, so yeah, that's a victory for Hentros over Southgate, just about.
But yeah, 3-0 win, very good attacking performance, and it's the 2 fullbacks that mopped the bonus up. Standard for this game. Parnaby must have played about 10 minutes as well after coming on for Greening, and he's nicked himself a bonus point as well.
Yeah, very good sub appearance there. Newcastle 0, Everton 2. Save points: 1 save point for Shay Given. Bonus points: 3 to Malcolm Christie, 2 to Shay Given, 2 to Steve Watson, and 2 for David Weir. So yeah, I'm not sure anybody's got any bonus points out of that.
6 shots, 4 on target for Christie. Shearer did actually manage to have 3 shots, 1 on target, to be fair, despite the fact there was obviously a limited supply for most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So still a chance you could score with. You'd take that most weeks, wouldn't you? 3 shots.
Yeah, you'd fancy him to score normally with 3 shots, I'd say.
Right. Christie, really. He obviously won his individual battle with someone. I don't know who was directly up against in that game, but he had a good game there, Christie.
Right, next one. Tottenham 1, Chelsea 2. So 1 save point each for Serini and Goodlad. 3 bonus points goes to Ida the Spider. 2 bonus points for Benito Carboni. And then 1 bonus point to Serini. So again, Serini's done okay there, really. A save point and a bonus point. So yeah, 3 points. I mean, it's not Headman levels, but you take it. 1 bonus point also to Boyce, Richards, Perry, Desai, and Terry. No shocks that they pick up at least some bonus. And Emmanuel Petit as well also gets 1 bonus point.
That's the one for new players, especially. The one takeaway from this, I would try and, if you're going to take things away, is the bonus points are definitely the thing that repeats the most. So, like Terry and Desai, they're in the bonus most games. Honcho will be in the bonus most games. I wouldn't be surprised if Roque Jr. is in the bonus most games. These sort of defenders that get bonus points, that's much more reliable than an attacking player getting a return. So, just something to bear in mind for new players that might not completely understand how this works yet.
Yeah. And that's it. So all we've got left is team of the week. So in goal, Magnus Hedman, 11 points. 3 at the back, Gianluca Festa with 13, Atherton with 12. So the two Middlesbrough defenders that nobody picked are in the team of the week. Pierre Issa, 12 points.
Midfield, well, isn't it? That's the biggest shock of all, I think.
Yeah, that defense is not what we came for. Midfield, Luke Chadwick 11 points, John Eustace 14, 2 guys 16 is the star man of the week. Noberto Solano 11, and then up front 3 up front, Zima Abbey 14, Ida Goodjohnson 16, Malcolm Christie 16.
I'd go as far to say that Hedman's the only player in that team of the week that's probably got more than like 2% ownership. I haven't obviously worked it out, but there's no one standout in there, really, is there?
No, not really. I don't think anybody would have captained anybody in the team of the week, which is really, really rare.
What do you think is a good score here then? About 60? Or was that too high? You think it'd be lower than that?
I don't know. People are struggling for clean sheets, I think. I mean, if you've got Hedman and double Borough defence and Angel or something, then I suppose you're doing pretty well. But yeah, it's a low scoring week, I think.
It's the captain who's got to swing it, aren't they? Viduka's got like 2 points doubled. Van Nistelrooy's pinched a late assist, but no bonus. Veron got some bonus, but nothing else. I suppose anyone at captain the Middlesbrough striker is probably the big winner, a little bit of bonus and a goal. What's that? You're looking at about, 14, 16 points on a Borough striker, I think. They're probably the big winners this week, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Right, so that's it, guys. Game week 1. Captain, is there anything else we need to do, or should we just before we just talk all night, or should we end the stream?
I'm getting a bit hot in this shirt and tie and jacket. My conservatory gets cold. I put a little heater on, and it is getting a bit warm in here now.
Right, he's telling us we're good to sign off. So yeah, thanks, Craig. Enjoyed that, and yeah, I'm sure we'll be back. We'll be back again. Thanks everybody in the chat for interacting. Real good stuff. Say don't panic if you didn't have a good week. It's a crazy game. You can have mad high scores one week and then not do so well another week. Honestly, don't worry about it. Thanks for joining. Make sure you catch the Sunday stream from the official channel on Sunday night. Us the Man On guys will put out some sim data on our YouTube channel on Sunday morning. And then all your injury news and the league and stuff will be out Monday morning, I think. And then we'll be back next week for game week 2. We'll leave it there, mate. Any final words of wisdom?
No, all good. Nice to be back, isn't it? That's my final word. It doesn't matter what we do. It's just fun to be back, isn't it? That's the main thing.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys. See you all again. I assume, Captain, you're going to end the stream.